It's April 11th, 2025. I am at Joel Pearl, and it's time to get in the weeds. I'm also the JoelPearl.com on Blue Sky because I still have that as well. Hi, it's a fabulous Friday, casting over cloudiness in Toronto, but the weather's okay. It was snowing yesterday. It's April. We're done. We're supposed to be in springtime. We had like beautiful weather a week ago, and now we're just back to gloomy, gussy, whatever. This sucks, but Jeremy Lambert's here. Sucks a little less, but you know, you had a day off yesterday. You got to take some time for yourself. How are you feeling?
It's April and like snowing outside here in Ohio. Just the dumbest state in the United States. Absolutely stupid.
Well, yes, I have nothing to add to that. It's factual. Like, yeah, people are saying it's in the 90s in Southern California. And I'll be in Vegas next week, and it's going to be 30 degrees Celsius. So, like, that is close to the 90s as well. It's going to be hot. So I'm like rethinking my entire wardrobe for while I'm in Vegas. I know what I need for what I need to be on camera, but the rest of the time, it's like Jesus. Jay Girl's asking, is Joel excited for 9 hours of WrestleMania each night? It all depends what media call is. If they want us there at 4 p.m., then I'll be. Well, that's 7 o'clock Eastern. So I don't know. I don't know when they're going to want us. People are still waiting on WWE to give final numbers for when we need to be places and what's coming up. So I'll be where I need to be when I need to be there. I'll tell you this much. I have a bunch of interviews that have been set up that are outside of WWE, and I'm hoping to give you guys a lot of content. People who are on the street just asking questions, wrestlers who are going to be there, new wrestlers you've never heard of, some wrestlers you know of, champions, non-champions, all the best. I'm going to be there, and I'm looking forward to that. So that's hit the ground on Tuesday night, and we don't start till the morning, and we don't stop until Monday night.
Why stop Monday night though? Like, you shouldn't stop at all.
You're right. I'll interview people on the plane on the way back. Hey, why are you going to Washington, D.C.?
I mean, your work continues even past Monday, Joel.
True.
You know?
That's true.
And the WWE, the story never finishes.
Oh, Triple H is going to be on my flight. You just know it.
I feel like he's got the private jet, right?
Yeah, no, he's going to be flying commercial.
Yeah.
He'll be slumming in the back with me.
Henry, I hope you're good, man. He said a tree fell on his house.
Oh my goodness. Dude, I hope everything's okay. I hope it didn't cause much damage, if any. That's awful. Dude. Where is... Okay, they're not doing a DC show this year for New Japan. I was about to say, I know Windy City Riot's coming up tonight, but other than that, it's back to Japan for stuff. Roads to Wrestling Dontaku and all that stuff. Anyway, we've already got a super chat. You know what to do. We'll talk about that in a second. Joel showing up in the low-cut Stone Cold jorts. Yeah, you know what? I'll do it. No, I don't have jorts. I don't wear jorts. I'm not John Cena. Because I'm not John Cena. He's the only guy who can fashionably get away with it.
Now you can do it. Just, you can't be a coward.
Do you think he'll wear the black jorts again for this run? Because he's a bad guy now? I know he's like, I'm not changing anything, but like, he wore black jorts during his time as a babyface. So, like, you think maybe he'll wear the black jorts again?
No.
Okay, well, we'll see. Maybe he'll show up on Friday SmackDown next week, and he'll be wearing the jorts. The only WWE show that I'm not currently going to is SmackDown.
Really? Why not? You don't want to see the WWE tag team titles be defended?
Spring break. That's the answer.
Spring break?
Yeah, Janela's spring break is Friday.
Oh, okay, fair.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's like 7 o'clock, which is after SmackDown would be done. Because SmackDown runs 5 to 8 because it's a 5-hour show. By which I mean a 3-hour show.
5 hours. It
feels like 5 hours. It's a 3-hour show.
Evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
They're going to announce a 4-hour SmackDown. No, it's a 3-hour SmackDown, so it's going to run from 5 to 8. What do you call it? Pacific time. So I would have to skip the last hour, which honestly is pretty much par for the course for me when it comes to watching SmackDown.
Cena's going to be on SmackDown though, at least.
He's going to be on in like the last segment. If they do the first segment, that'd be great. But yeah, Jay Girls has put it out there. Like, I need to be there for the bingo spot.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the only reason I'm going, is so that I can take a video of it and be like, they did our thing. Like, that would be perfect.
If they don't do the bingo spot. I'm gonna be so disappointed. I'm gonna yell at Janela online and then get him on the show and yell at him again.
That's the answer. I'm gonna get him behind a camera and just be like, "What were you thinking? Not doing the bingo spot?"
It's the greatest spot of all time. How can we not do this?
It's worth doing. They need to do it, and I need to be there for it. I'm just double checking that spring break is a 5 o'clock. A 7 o'clock start. I need to check this. I know I have it on my list, but and then Clusterfuck is sorry, we're 5 minutes in. So the name of the show, Clusterfork, is Saturday at 11 p.m. So my plan is to go to that if I'm still awake. Yeah, spring break is Friday at 7 p.m. So that's on my list. Also, we need to find out who Alec Price's mystery tag team partner is going to be for that match against VIF.
Yeah, I was trying to think of who it might be, and I don't have a great answer of who it might be.
They're just gonna. Do you know what they're gonna do? In case of fire, they're just gonna pull Suzuki and Tremont and make Minoru Suzuki the tag team partner. Because in case of emergency, Minoru Suzuki.
No, I don't know if Effie's wrestling on spring break, but Effie would make sense there because Effie and Price and Cole are all pals in GCW. So Effie might make some sense.
He is not currently scheduled for spring break.
Yeah, I didn't think he was scheduled for a spring break match. So
he also, I mean, he said he's got Big Gay brunch the next morning.
Yeah, so
I know. If he's me, I know. But if he's me, I'd probably just like take the night off.
Sleep, cowardly.
Pretty much. Well, no, he's doing the Progress show too. So that's the midnight show the night before.
So he can show up to spring break. Effie's my official prediction.
Let the man be a champion. What's the date on that? Oh, he's got WrestleCon 4 to 8. So if the show's late enough, he could do it.
Isn't spring break late?
Spring break starts at 7.
Oh, he can show up to there. It's 7. Yeah, he can. He's done at WrestleCon at 8. That match ain't going on till at least 9. He can show up.
I mean, it could open the show. Who knows?
It's not. Effie's my pick. That's my official prediction.
Effie's your prediction. I do not have one. I don't know who makes the most sense. Effie does for the reasons you've outlined, but there's no one else I can think of. Maybe someone in the chat has some sort of idea who Alec Price could be teaming up with.
Janela likes to do like surprises and stuff though. So knowing Janela, he's gonna get like the Sandman or something for this.
It's gonna be Maven. It's gonna be Maven. Couldn't do the clusterfuck, so I'm gonna do the VIF match.
The Sandman is my other prediction.
That would be awful. I love Sandman, but I couldn't do that.
See,
yeah, have JBL do it. He can go from he'll be in Vegas. He'll be just wandering around the streets giving lariats to random people.
See, I think this was gonna be, not that this card was like gonna be a bad card or anything, but as it's spring break, it's always a fun show. This was going to be the like wrestling match. This was going to be the banger match, VIF and against Garbage Daddies, because it was originally a ladder match. So this was going to be the all-out, non-stop action match. Sorry, TNA. And Sandman doesn't really fit that bill. So
no, but also like I don't know. It should be Travis Scott. Yeah, that's his first match.
Imagine if Janelle got. What if he got Big Boom? He was supposed to get Big Boom earlier. Then AEW came in and got him.
That would be phenomenal. Boom? He got the Rizzler. It's Alec Price and the Rizzler teaming up.
The Rizzler? Could you imagine like VIF just like having to sell for the Rizzler? It'd be great.
They would. They'd sell their asses off for them.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic. But it does rule that just like VIF is one of the best, if not the best, independent tag team out there, and they're like very straightforward wrestling guys, and then they just gotta do bumps and stuff for the Rizzler, just going like that.
They just react, just do flat back bumps, flipping all over the place, like Rock taking a Stone Cold Stunner. They just fall and flip up. His wrist is too much.
Maybe it's Micro Man, or maybe it's the Invisible Man. What if Alec Price got the Invisible Man?
So that's a good idea because of the spring break lore. Like you could do it and get away with it. Definitely good job on all those guys bringing back the Invisible Man. Maybe it's Invisible Stan. Who knows?
It's Yoshihiko.
It's always the doll.
Yeah.
And then it's going to turn out to be Lio Rush again. That was one of the best reveals when they did the Yoshihiko match. Who was he facing? And then he unmasked and it was Lio Rush. I forget who it was, but I remember it was on the boardwalk during COVID for GCW. And he took off the mask.
Didn't he face Chanela?
No, who was facing Yoshihiko when they did the reveal that it was Lio Rush who was under the Yoshihiko, the black handler.
I don't remember.
Either way, it's fine. It's going to be the Ghost of Haystacks, Calvin. I agree. That's it.
It should be. It should be early morning guy still. Bring him back, but it should be someone like under a mask. But it's like legitimately like Kenny Omega, but he's just like wrestling underneath a mask, and no one knows. Like Janela gets that favor from Omega, and then Tony can't be mad about it because he's underneath the mask. And Omega doesn't wrestle. Maybe he gets Danielson because Danielson's talked about wanting to wrestle underneath the mask, but he's like not going to wrestle as Bryan Danielson. He's going to wrestle a completely different style. So that's what should happen here. It should be like Kenny Omega, but he just wrestles a completely different style. He wrestles like Hulk Hogan or Ultimate Warrior.
You just redo WrestleMania 9.
I'm watching the documentary. I started it this morning, and I'm only about 45 minutes in to the WrestleMania 9 documentary. I'll finish it after.
How long is it?
The show. Oh, it's like an hour and 50 minutes. It's pretty long.
God.
Yeah.
So I couldn't. So by the way, Canadians, I can't find it. If you happen to know where it is,
it's right on Peacock for me.
I believe that it is. Like it's a very Peacock promoted event, but
yeah,
it's not on YouTube. It's not on Netflix. It's nowhere for Canadians right now. So I'm waiting until I get my hands on it. I don't have a Peacock subscription either. So if anyone says get a VPN, I don't have Peacock because I've never needed it.
Yeah, it's the first thing when I load up Peacock, it's there. Maybe it's curated for me, but I also think like they're heavily promoting it. And like, what else new did they release today? That always, I always find that interesting because I watch basically all of wrestling on apps now because Raw's on Netflix. SmackDown I got to watch on USA Network still. PLEs are on Peacock, and I watch all the AEW stuff on Max. So the way like the platforms promote these, I'll talk about the WrestleMania 9 documentary here in a second too, by the way, the first 45 minutes that I've seen. But the way these platforms like promote these promotions, like if you load up Peacock, the WWE stuff is the first or second thing. Usually with like NXT, it's like the second thing. And then on Netflix, like Raw is like one of the first things. Max, I don't think does as good of a job with AEW. And I'll give an example of, I tried to load up Dynamite on Wednesday, and on the home page, it wasn't there on like the main header. Like there's like 5 selections, and it wasn't in the first 5. It's like Righteous Gemstones, White Lotus, hockey games, basketball. And it's like, I'm scrolling through the whole thing and Dynamite's not there. I have to go to the sports tab, and then Dynamite's like the second or third thing. Because the first 2 were, here's the NHL game on currently, here's the NHL game that follows, and now we've got Dynamite. I think Max can do, especially when Dynamite and Collision are live, they can do a better job like putting that as the first thing you see when you load up Max and not have me go to the sports tab. Apparently the viewership numbers are good on Max, so it seems like things are fine overall. I would just prefer not having to click extra buttons when I try to watch Dynamite and Collision.
Yeah, I'd heard about that, the whole having to click on Max and get to sports and like basically navigate within the program to get to AEW programming. And like you said, they're doing fine. Could they be better with the viewership on Max if they move it to the main page? Of course, that's just the way that marketing works, right? The fewer clicks, the better. But for AEW fans who have Max and want to get there and are looking for wrestling, they know where to go. But yeah, who knows? Maybe if they did put them on the main page for a day, it'll change. Look at us. I mean, our viewership here is what it is, but you put it on main page where there are more subscribers and more people click, we get a larger viewership on a Monday at the first of the month. That's just the way it goes. But that's fine. By the way, because we're talking about it, leave a thumbs up on the video if you haven't already. What are you doing? You got to get there. The sign needs to be on fire, full of pyro and ballyhoo, and there it is. And also subscribe to us here at Fightful Overbooked, because I want the 20,000. I want you to get us to 20,000. I want you to help us help you help your friends. So subscribe to the channel, get us up there, because WrestleMania is around the corner and tons of content comes with it. And I won't be here. At least, maybe I will, but we'll see. I won't be here for every show, but I will try to pop in, and your super chats go a long way. So any amount, get your question or statement right on the air, and not only supports us, but it also moves the show along. Kim Gray sends one saying, good morning. Going to an indie show tomorrow with JBL, Ron Simmons, Heath Slater, and Enzo. Should be fun. Have fun at Mania, Joel. Let me know if Camille shows up at that one, because I know that she has before with her husband. So curious about whether or not Camille starts appearing more outside of the AEW bubble and outside of the Queen of the Ring stuff. They are doing Queen of the Ring showings in Canada next week. So over WrestleMania, they're going to be in Toronto. I couldn't make it because I was invited to a screening, but I'm wondering if Camille's coming in for that. I know the actors, producers, and all that are, but I don't know wrestling-wise who's coming in. But regardless, if Camille shows up at that, let us know, because curious to see where she lands next, as we're waiting for her to do something with AEW after. Are you stupid or are you dumb?
She just disappeared, man. She's just gone.
She went to go and ponder that question. It was asked of her, and she was like, am I stupid or am I dumb? Now she just walks around the streets just being like, am I stupid or am I dumb?
Are you stupid or are you dumb?
And that just repeats in her head all day. That exact word, that phrasing, the way it is. Am I stupid or am I dumb?
She got hit with one chair and is like, shit, never to be seen again, never to compete again. Sad times. Oh well.
Got that glass back. She went out to get protein shake. She'll be back any minute. Oh god. But yeah, let us know. Have fun at the show, Graham.
Have fun.
That looks like it's going to be a fun night, especially with the stars that you mentioned. Yeah, Heath is fun. He's got kids. Did you hear that? I hear he's got kids. JBL might actually like short arm clothesline every one of them, but he has kids.
So the WrestleMania 9 documentary, again, I'm only 45 minutes in, so I haven't gotten into like the meat of this documentary yet. Right now, it's a lot of setup stuff. It's talking about WrestleMania 9 and how they want to make it extravagant, going to Caesars, all the like planning that went into that, setting up the matches and trying to make it a more of a spectacle, because they didn't have Hogan at first. And even the Caesars people were like, okay, Hogan's going to be there though, right? And like tickets weren't moving well. So they needed to juice it up, and Hogan was the way they were able to do that. Now I'm at the point where they're starting to like set up the show and behind the scenes of that. A couple things that have stood out so far. Obviously no interview with Vince, but they did not run from putting Vince in the behind the scenes footage. There is stuff of him like talking with Pritchard, talking with the wrestlers, talking with people of like how he wants the show to look and everything. So there is Vince behind the scenes footage on this documentary. They did not just completely erase him and act like he was not part of wrestling at the time. They do the gimmick. I don't think that The Last Dance started this gimmick of like, hey, let's talk to the people now and watch the footage on your phone and react to watching the footage. I don't think The Last Dance started that, but The Last Dance made it pretty famous with Jordynne and reacting to a lot of stuff. So they do that. Right now they're just reacting to the WrestleMania 9 footage. I really want them to do what they did with The Last Dance of, let's have Hulk Hogan react to what Bret Hart says now. Let's have Bret react to what Hulk says now. And maybe we get that as I get further into the documentary and they talk more about that stuff. So yeah, a lot of just setup and everything. It is, I wasn't super into wrestling at that times. And certainly when it came to this type of footage, it was they didn't do this kind of stuff. And they mentioned that on here of like, everyone was just stunned. We were filming all this behind the scenes stuff because that's not something we did at the time. So people are like, why are all these cameras around? Now it's like, there's a camera everywhere. Everything is content. But, back then, Undertaker's like, yeah, I'm just like, why is this camera in my face? He's like mean mugging for the camera and everything. But it's very interesting to hear and see how the show has grown. We talked about that when the documentary was released, of like, when did it feel like it started to become like the spectacle and everything. And based on what the wrestlers are saying in this, it was WrestleMania 9, because that's when like the city started to get involved. That's when like the promotion was there on the billboards in Caesars. Brett's talking about he's walking through the airport and they're playing the videos of WrestleMania 9, and there I am on all the screens. And like it felt, they're doing the meet and greets and everything. Like it felt like a bigger event than just here's WrestleMania. So I guess it was WrestleMania 9 where it started to become a little bit more extravagant. And it does feel like they made a conscious decision of doing that, because they were running a parking lot. That's where this venue was held. It was held in a parking lot. So they had to do something to dress it up. The Caesars people were talking about how like, yeah, the set was like really over the top. And the thing that they wanted to do with how the set design of like, it didn't sell a single extra ticket. Like we already sold out at this point, but Vince wanted to do like, we wanted to bring in this animal. We wanted to dress up this area of the venue. And it's like, yeah, that didn't mean anything, but they wanted it to look extravagant on here. So it's very fun so far of the setup to it. But now we're getting into like the day of the event. So now we're getting into the shit of like, all right, let's see what a train wreck this show actually was.
I gotta find this thing and watch it. I know I can get my hands on it, and I probably will, but that's amazing. I gotta watch this thing. 2 hours runtime almost.
There is they show like with every documentary, it's they do like the sizzle reel at the very beginning of it, and they mention Hogan's black eye, and they just have Undertaker saying, "Brother should have dodged and weaved," and I guess he didn't. So I'm excited to get into the behind the scenes of the actual event and not the setup to everything, because obviously you got to do that with the documentary, because you're selling to people who don't know about wrestling. And look, I'm learning stuff too, because it's not something that I'm super well researched on. So it's good so far.
All right, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna watch it. People saying it's on the Peacock. I know it is, but Canadians don't have it. And
yeah, Joel doesn't have a cock, folks.
I don't have the cock. I have the cuck.
Joel has. Yes. Damn it.
Yeah, I can stop your jokes before you get there. I get it.
Joel has the cuck, not the cock.
That's right. I don't have it because I don't need it. Netflix houses all WWE content except for this right now. Could it arrive on Netflix sometime in the next few days? Sure. But as of right now, it's not there. And it's not on YouTube either, because when they're running Saturday Night's Main Event exclusively on Peacock or with Peacock, then it goes to YouTube for international. I'm just waiting for where the documentary drops. I'll find it. Don't worry. The internet is a vast, amazing place filled with content that you can find if you try hard enough. It's on Jeremy's OnlyFans.
Oh, that wouldn't do good business, but
no, there's something for everyone. People always have what to care about. It's just the way it is.
I guess.
Where do we go from
I
here?
do enough dumb stuff just on this show to where I don't need to try to sell an OnlyFans.
That's true. What about I don't know, what about Chris Jericho? Could you sell him on OnlyFans? He's taking a break, Jeremy. Allegedly he's taking a break. The Observer is talking about how Jericho is he's ready to take some time off, and how this leaving on Wednesday was him saying, nah, maybe I should take some time, even though I have my Wednesdays free on this Fozzy tour. Maybe I can take a break. And people who are hearing this are saying, yeah, you can take a break, Jericho. Hang out, go do your own thing. And then others are just like, nah, you'll be back. You'll always come back.
I mean, he'll be back, but I also do think he'll be off television for a little bit. He'll be back before the build to All In. 1,000,000%. He might take a month off. He might not be back until Double or Nothing, or the Dynamite after Double or Nothing. But he'll be back before the build to All In. I don't think Jericho, for all of his flaws, he knows sort of when to take breaks. He did it in WWE. He did it all the time in WWE. He would go away and then he'd come back and the return would feel like a big deal. When you do it so often and when people are less enamored with your character and you're not as big of a star as you once were, then it loses a little bit of its luster. But he knows when to take breaks and when to kind of salvage himself as a television character. He's doing that now. He's going to come back and he'll probably get maybe a decent reaction. I don't know how fans are going to feel about him a month or so from now. Like I said yesterday, he's amazing at just getting out and not getting anyone over. No one benefited from this. Big Bill's not in much better of a position. Brian Keith is not in really any better of a position. Bandito is going to be on ROH, so okay. They could have done that without Chris Jericho. He's not like, no one really got real big benefit off of this. Maybe Big Bill and Brian Keith get a lot more television time and they start racking up some wins and they do ascend in AEW. Based on what's happened with every other Chris Jericho group, got my doubts.
I don't think Jericho's ever taken much time off in AEW. I think people think he has. The most time he's taken off was 2021 when he had the blood clot issue. Other than that, he's never really taken time off. It's kind of an illusion. He'll rebrand. He'll take a week or two, but he's never taken an extended like multiple month sabbatical. He did it in WWE. He did it usually between contracts or just between, just reset periods. But in AEW, he just hasn't. But no one, you're right, no one's gotten over. I mean, Sammy Guevara got a kid out of the deal. Good for him. But other than that, no one's really.
You need Chris Jericho to have a kid.
Maybe Jericho introduced the two, got them closer. Who knows? Maybe he was playing Yenta. We really like to make allusions to Fiddler on this show.
I've only seen that movie. That's not even a movie. I've only seen that thing once, and I don't remember any of it. The only thing I remember was they did a Gwen Stefani song. That's it.
I hate you so much. Regardless, I don't know I don't know what he's going to come back for or when. He'll be at All in Texas. It's inevitable. He will. Maybe they'll do a casino gauntlet and he'll be in the casino gauntlet and maybe not win. Maybe he will win. Regardless, he's allegedly going to be taking time off, and that'll be that.
He'll take time off. I think he'll be gone until at least Double or Nothing. That's my official prediction. Maybe I'm giving Chris Jericho too much credit. But
he's going to show up on Dynamite this week, and you're going to be like, "Well, son of a bitch."
That would actually rule. I would pop so much if he's just like, I've realized that they need me. Big Bill and Brian Keith, they need me. And even though I'm disappointed, I do have so much more to teach them. And he's just back. That would rule.
I'm going to be a good father.
Absolutely rule.
Sounds awful. Please don't do it. Oh man, Big Bill just being like, "Daddy came back. I brought the cigarettes and milk that I went to the store for." And
that would actually be a good bit if he has just like cigarettes and milk or creamer and just,
he doesn't even get the milk.
Just creamer.
You know what he needs to do? He needs to show and be like, "I bought eggs. They're affordable now." Everyone just be like, "Boo! This is Jericho heat." Oh man, it's fine. Jericho. My favorite part is how Jericho would then have to go back to Dave and just be like, "Gotcha." Oh man. Anyway, it's fine. Jericho's gonna get the YJ Stinger for Stacker too.
Oh,
that is such a deep cut. I love it. Louis V sent a super chat. Shady Escort Fun for Joel. Thank you for that. $4.69. I will always take your 69. Someone sent $69 for my escort account.
You can get a very shady escort for $69.
I think they start at like $59, but that's just me. That's what I was told.
You're not looking at the right places.
Clearly not. I'm not going to the right places either. Not happening. My goodness. So SB3 and I were talking yesterday about the Swerve stuff and how he turned to the camera and was talking about blood and guts. And while we both kind of realized that Swerve was probably making an allusion to having faced the Young Bucks in Blood and Guts, we also kind of gave credence, or at least I did, to the idea that Blood and Guts could actually feasibly happen at Double or Nothing instead of Anarchy in the Arena, just to flip the tradition around. Because normally it's Anarchy in the Arena at Double or Nothing, and then Blood and Guts a few weeks later at whatever big arena they've booked. But now you've got All In Texas in July, and then you got Forbidden Door. So like the schedule's been a little flip-flopped. Also, the venues that they're running are not conducive to Blood and Guts, except for Desert Diamond Arena. That's the next big enough venue that they have to put 2 rings and a giant cage. And I'm of the belief that maybe they'll just do Blood and Guts there because Desert Diamond holds 20,000. They're not expecting 20,000 people at the event, but you can easily get 10,000 with a double ring setup for that particular show. And then, it's a different show. It's a different setup. And I that's where I'm coming from. SP3 maybe isn't as bought into this, but your thoughts on everything with the Swerve stuff and where we're going to go with the fight with Swerve and versus everyone. Swerve and Kenny versus everyone.
Yeah, I thought he was talking about Blood and Guts last year as well. I do like the idea, do Blood and Guts at Double or Nothing instead of Anarchy in the Arena followed by Blood and Guts, because that wasn't great last year. Like we lost the plot on the Elite stuff by doing Anarchy in the Arena, and then they won, and then they're like, but we challenge you to Blood. What? And there's no stakes in any of this. What's happening here? Like they lost the plot last year with that. And I do think having 2 big, what should both be like blow off matches back to back like that just hurt things, because they're blow off matches. That's the end of what should have been that part of the story. And instead they just kind of had to redo it. And the way they got there didn't make a whole lot of sense. So I'd much prefer, one, just don't do Blood and Guts. Like, it's fine. Do Anarchy in the Arena, because that has become the Double or Nothing tradition, or do Blood and Guts at Double or Nothing and not do it as a standalone Dynamite, because we don't need a standalone Dynamite when you've already done Anarchy in the Arena. Maybe you do Blood and Guts at Double or Nothing, and you do Anarchy in the Arena at, I guess it'd be Anarchy in the Stadium, but that's what they did in Wembley. Anarchy in the Arena at All In. Maybe not those 2 teams, mind you, because seems like the Young Bucks are going to be facing maybe Swerve and Hangman. Okada is going to be facing Kenny. So you're not going to have those 2 teams anyway, but you can just do a different Anarchy in the Arena style match for All In.
So my pushback to that was actually, you can do Anarchy in the Arena on a Dynamite, on one of your bigger Dynamite shows. And because you've been running ballrooms and different style setups, going and brawling through the crowd at a ballroom would actually look kind of cooler to me than in the arena. It's just a different setup. It looks fun.
I do wonder if there are restrictions on that. I have no actual intel or insight with everything, but I'm just questioning. This would be a question for AEW of, can you do something like that at a smaller venue? Because it does feel like smaller venues, maybe you can get away with, you can't do as much, I should say, because the venue's just smaller. It's not this giant open arena where, hey, you're bringing in a bunch of people. The WWE has talked about this. Some of the writers have talked about this, where the arenas didn't care what WWE did. This was during the Attitude Era stuff, because it's like, yeah, look how much money they're bringing into this arena right now. Like, do whatever you want, whatever we can accommodate, go for it. And I wonder, because of like smaller venues, there's just less to do, and there's just more protections on, like, yeah, maybe we can't screw up our one concession stand because we don't have 15 others around the venue here. So I do wonder if maybe they couldn't do it because it's a smaller arena.
Fyter Fest is June the 4th, which is the week after Double or Nothing. So not the first Dynamite, but the one after that. You got May 25th is Double or Nothing. The 28th is Dynamite and Collision in El Paso. Fyter Fest is that 4-hour block. That's the following week. You could do it there. It's Fyter Fest. It's a big event, but it's also going to be a long show that you can possibly, hit off with a big show or a big event or a big gimmick match. Might be a little too quick to do that. The other option was a little closer to All In Texas, but June 25th, they're running. This is a weird one. They're going to be in Kent, Washington in June. So June 21st, they're doing a live episode of Collision. And then they're still in Kent for Dynamite a few days later at the same venue on the 25th. So the 21st and the 25th, and they're taping Collision. So I was wondering, maybe if you do the Kent show, do you do a regular Collision on the Saturday and then reset for a Blood and Guts if you do it there at this Dynamite show in Kent in Washington. Henry's mentioning a 3-hour show in New Orleans as well. There's another option that you have. So it's stuff that's upcoming. You can mess around with that.
We shall see. I think Fyter Fest should just be a one-night video game tournament. Bring it back to what Fyter Fest originally was, which was the partnership with CEO Gaming, and do a one-night video game tournament. Who cares about these wrestling matches? Don't do that. Do the video game tournament.
It's true. Wrestling is for stupid people.
A lot safer just having a video game tournament.
Yeah. Wait a minute. The 3-hour show in New Orleans, is that the Dynamite on April 23rd? That's like 2 weeks from now.
That's a 3-hour show? Why are they doing that?
Allegedly. I don't know. They're doing a Dynamite and Collision taping. Oh, it's the 4-hour Max Caster Open challenge. That's forget your video games. This is what I want.
Oh yeah, there is a 3-hour. It's a 3-hour Collision. It's a 3-hour block. It's going to be a taped show. April 23rd is no, it's airing. Isn't the 26th is when it's airing. Sorry. I don't know why I said April 23rd. Yeah.
Well, 23rd is the event, is the Dynamite. That's when they're taping everything.
Okay.
So you're right. You just got the date when it's airing as afterwards.
Yeah, it's a 3-hour. So this is just me pontificating. I don't think I'm using that word correctly. So it's listed as a 3-hour Collision for 8:30 to 11:30 on that Saturday, the 26th. It very well could be a 3-hour Collision. I truthfully think it is a 3-hour Collision. I do wonder if they just blocked off 3 hours because of the NBA playoffs, because the playoffs are running all day on Saturday. And as I've told everyone before, those games ain't ending when you think they are ending. That game is not ending. There's a 6 o'clock start time for the third game of the day. There's a game at 1, there's a game at 3:30, there's a game at 6. None of those games are ending at those times. So that 6 o'clock game will not end at 8:30. Gonna end closer to 9. I do wonder if they just blocked off 3 hours on there to just say, hey, make sure you record this entire Dynamite or this entire Collision section. And that way you won't miss anything. So that way you don't have to record part of the NBA game potentially and make sure you record after. It very well could be 3 hours. The show could start at 9 and go all the way to till 12 because it is a 3-hour block. I just wonder if they just blocked off 3 hours because they know NBA ain't ending on time.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it out there. Can you do your headphone thing again? You're on life support. While Jeremy's fixing that, he's getting off of life support. We're gonna figure out what else we're gonna talk about. Probably we're gonna do a little TNA talk, unfortunately, because you have to. Are you back? You good?
Oh,
what? Which part?
know.
Well, you are back. You are here. You sound good. No, you don't.
Okay. Oh,
Comes and
I'll
goes.
switch it again. Hold on.
Get those additional viewers to watch AEW Dynamite or AEW Collision. That's what we'll do. Yes, we will have to talk about TNA a little bit. The lack of knockouts. Are you back?
I don't know.
You're back, baby. You're good.
For now.
Till the next one.
Again. What do you want to talk about with TNA?
Well, I wanted to hold on because you're batting cleanup for a change when it comes to Dynamite. So I don't know if there's anything else that you want to get on before we get off of the AEW train. You also didn't do a spotlight yesterday. What was it? The train idea? Is that what got you?
No, getting
Who's running
off.
trains? So we can't all beat off 5 other guys to get a title shot.
I don't know. I don't remember Dynamite, Joel. I don't remember what happened 2 hours ago. You expect it to happen, what, 2 days ago?
Kinda, yeah.
No.
That's fair.
I talked a little bit about the Omega promo yesterday when I joined, and that was, they chanted Dookie, so that was a thing that happened.
This is Hulk Hogan homage.
The 8-man tag was really fun. Tony Storm was really good on commentary, and that's all I recall.
And Megan Bayne is buried, Jeremy. She lost, and now she's going to be on Collision all the time. She's buried.
The Paragon, that's a thing that happened as well.
I wonder, I know they have the trademark. How do you think old Mojo feels about this?
Oh.
Because for those that don't know, there's the Paragon Talent Group,
right?
Which has a lot of wrestlers on their roster. I'm curious if Mojo's looked at this and just been like, huh, I wonder, because legally I don't think they have a leg to stand on, because Paragon has been under the trademark for these guys, for Cole and the gang, for a little bit. So I don't think legally there's anything, but I wonder if he has any thoughts on them using the name Paragon in AEW.
Let's ask Mojo.
Dear Mojo Rawley, I'll see him next week. I'll just ask him.
Yeah, just ask him there.
We'll just pull out a phone and just be like, Mojo, got a wait, why am I doing that? Mojo. What are your thoughts on AEW? I'm just gonna get the red in his face.
Jesus. Mojo's gonna be like, is that your cuck phone, Joel?
I'll be like, oh, good, you watched the product.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get so many weird comments that I'm gonna have to react to. Oh God. Anyway, we'll see. You can see yourselves in the reflection in the camera. It's whoa, there it is. Anyway, yeah, we'll see what Mojo says. Yeah, okay, fine. So you better clean up on Dynamite. This is an iPhone 14. I've sent back that 11 Pro. That game is done. Thankfully, got my money back. Got everything sorted out. The game is over for now. Anyway, TNA.
Oh God.
Did you watch it all?
No. Joel, I had a day off for the most part yesterday. Do you really think I don't want to watch this show when I have to, when I'm forced to.
Get it.
If I have a day off, I am 1,000,000% not watching this show. I can tell you about Married is Blind or Married at First Sight, Married at Blind. I fucked Love at First Sight. Jesus, I did it again. Love is Blind and Married at First Sight had sex, and so I combined them. They had a kid. I can tell you about Married at First Sight season 15 if you would like me to talk about that, because that is what I watched last night.
No, however, thank you for realizing that I gave them the name Cole and the Gang moving forward. Oh, easy, he gets it. Yes, I'm calling them Cole and the Gang. They're no longer Paragon. Anyway, Married is Blind.
They should be called Sock, right? No. Yeah. Sock works. Strong, O'Reilly, and Cole. Sock.
That's okay.
They could be Cock.
They
could be Cock.
So be Cock, yes.
They could be Cock. No, they can't be Cock. Hold on. Because that's Cole, O'Reilly, and Kyle. Roddy Strong's cucked. Roddy Strong's cucked in the cock.
Why are we doing this to ourselves? Oh my God.
They could be Cox. Cole, O'Reilly, Kyle, and Strong. Kyle's just there twice.
Just he deserves.
He's in the middle too. He's Eiffel Towered.
What's wrong with you?
Is that what it's called? That's what it's called, right?
No. What is it? Kyle, Adam.
He's pig roasted, spit roasted,
right? Eiffel Towered, spit roasted. Yeah, Team Strongcock. This is awful. All of these are awful. Oh man, no, just call him Cole and the Gang. The Gang being the tag team that he works with.
They wouldn't have had issues with the Mojo Rawley if they would have went with our ideas.
That's
Cox,
true.
cock and cuck. They're making cuck jokes on Dynamite, so
Stealing our content. Can't
Yeah.
believe it. The only wrestling morning show that does cuck content. Looking at you, busted open. None of y'all think about this. Bully Ray ain't making cuck jokes to anyone's faces. Coward. David LaGreca standing at his desk. I thought about doing that, by the way, about ripping off David LaGreca's presentation, because now he's got a standing desk, and so do I. I was thinking about like doing a standing desk show so that I can like throw my hands up in the air and wave them like I just don't care. And like Dave gets very animated when he's doing it. I thought about doing that just to pay homage to him, but I don't want to stand up. Instead, I'll sit down and wave my hands and play with my Sharpie and all that stuff. But yeah, we do the cuck holding on this show. We hold the cuck jokes.
we cuck people around here. We don't get cucked except for Joel.
We cuck people. We cuck people. MVP is gonna corner me and heels have eyes. What did you say on your show? Like, oh, you watch? Thank you. What did you say? Oh God, we're such idiots. Anyway, I was gonna make a really bad joke.
Now you got to talk about TNA for some reason.
Cam got me on this one. Oh, thanks, bud. Anyway, no knockouts on TNA this week. That was very, very strange. 0 knockouts, and you got a World Knockouts Championship match at Rebellion, and they were nowhere to be found. They did a digital exclusive where Tessa spoken to her phone for 3.5 minutes about I don't know what, and then she went to New York and beat up Johnny Rods, who trained Masha Slamovich, and then the next thing you know, they showed on socials Masha coming out of an nondescript hospital and saying she beat up Johnny Rods, now it's personal. But they had 0 knockouts on the show last night. It was very strange for a company that tells us how deep their knockouts division is and is working with NXT, who have a ton of women in their division. That was very weird. It was very strange. Yes, Tasha Steelz and Alicia Edwards, they were there, but they don't wrestle. Oh, well, Tasha Steelz is about to, but it was very weird. I don't know what they did, but they made Joe Hendry serious for once, Jeremy. He's hurt, and he's telling people the doctors believe, but I'm going to defy the doctors. I'm like, well, the doctors told you, the doctors didn't clear me, but I'm going to go and wrestle anyway. So he's got a match at Unbreakable, and then he's got a match at Rebellion. He's doing a triple threat against Ethan Page and Kazarian, and that's a match that they're doing. More triple threats, because that's just what wrestling needs, is everyone needs to be in a triple threat. Unbreakable, the triple threat championship match will also be there at Unbreakable. But yeah, the Unbreakable tag team match, though, that's going to be fun. So they're not doing they're doing Santana and the Hardys against Ali and the Nemeths. So a little different than what I thought, but definitely a 6-man tag I anticipated. And yeah, that's what's going on. Oh, and Joe is teaming up with Masha to take on Tessa and Kazarian on Unbreakable.
Why are they running a show next week too?
Because WWE told them to come to town.
No, I know that, but like, why are they running like an Impact show?
So that's been my $64,000 question, because I asked, right, and I remember I was told, and I mentioned on the show, people from TNA were like, they did a good job of basically taking a tape show for a weekend and streamlining it, including a live special within this non-linear taping to get to Rebellion. They found a way to do it. It was very disjointed, but I don't think I feel like Unbreakable kind of came up last minute for them, and they said, let's do it. So that's why they did it, because they saw it was a money-making opportunity. And they had to build around that. They had to find a way to make it work. And like they're doing, Barbed Wire Massacre with Sammy and Mansoor, and that'll be fun. And other than that, like the big matches are for the International Championship. That's how they're doing it. Ryan is true. I did compare Nick and Ryan Nemeth to Bret and Owen Hart at one point.
What?
I mentioned that Ryan Nemeth is a lot smoother as a wrestler than people give him credit for. But I also mentioned that when you're under your brother's shadow, which Ryan is, because Dolph Ziggler was always a much better and out there wrestler than Ryan was. When you're under your brother's finger, you don't necessarily get the same appreciation when you do good work. I think Ryan's doing very good work. I think Ryan had a really standout match with ASOS. Was it Ace? Who did he face? No, Ace faced Ali. He faced Leon Slater. And Leon Slater and Ryan Nemeth had a really solid match. And I was giving them both credit and flowers and telling them that they did well. And then I mentioned, like, it's kind of like the Hearts, where, you know, Brett is more akin to Nick and Owen. And that was the story that they told, was Owen felt disrespected because Brett was considered the better wrestler of a brother. And that's what led to their feud. And that's why I was always talking about Ryan versus Nick as a feud in wrestling, because the two brothers who are pretty good wrestlers going at it. That's where the comparison was. It was never they are just like Brett and Owen. It was more like, I can understand why people don't give Ryan the credit he deserves, because Nick has always been seen as the better wrestler.
You couldn't have done the Hardys.
No, because they're doing a feud, and that's different. To me, it's completely different, because I'm thinking of wrestling acumen. I don't see the Hardys as wrestlers. I see them as car crash aficionados.
But it's still the same thing. Jeff Hardy was the super popular guy, and he got all the accolades and all the love and attention, and that was good, but no one cared. They only saw Jeff.
So are you, in this story, are you saying that Matt Hardy is Ryan Nemeth?
Yeah.
I went for the Hearts because I'm Canadian. I don't think the Hardys worked.
How did that not work? I just use your same logic.
No, I get what you're saying, and they're going to use that as they probably won't, because they're not that smart, but TNA could be using that as their logic. But this was all in service of getting them to face each other. But of course, we're not there yet. Nick and Ryan need to have a match. Which
Canada has disowned you
not
for
really
making this comparison.
No, they can't disown me. They like me too much.
Not after this.
What? It's Brett, Nardwar, and then me. That's a chain of command.
I don't know who that second thing is.
Yeah, don't worry. Neither do we.
Okay.
He just exists. Doot, 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 doot. That's usually what people reply with. Confused reactions.
Is it
Go watch
Narwhal?
Nardwar. No, Nardwar.
What?
Grays gets it.
Nardwar?
Yeah.
The human serviette?
Yeah, serviette. That's a napkin for those who don't speak French.
The human napkin?
Yeah, effectively. No, Jeremy doesn't know Nardwar because Jeremy is not that educated when it comes to this stuff.
He's got a cool hat.
Yeah, he wears it to all of his interviews. He also, you got a Major Blood saying, I haven't heard that name in years. He interviews all of the major party candidates heading into the election. So yesterday he dropped the ones that he did with the leader of the New Democratic Party and the Liberal Party. But the Conservative Party representative would not go and speak to Nardwar. So feel about that how you will. Where does Bubbles fit? Bubbles is probably 10th, but Nardwar's great. See, look, Modervault gets it.
Who's the Bubbles?
He's interviewed a lot of people
Wire?
like too. No, Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys. What are you talking about?
I only recognize the Bubbles from The Wire or Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls.
No, that's true. The monkey. Yeah, that's true. Pierre does hate fun, Grays. You're right. Apparently, Stephen Harper had his goons carry out Nardwar during their interview. So there's that. I think that was scripted, but either way, Stephen Harper hates fun. So yeah, Brett, Nardwar, Joel. That's the chain of command.
This is awful.
Oh, you want Corner Gas reference? The interview that Sean Ross Sapp did with Bret Hart was actually in service of the Corner Gas animated show. And instead, and they were told, like, hey, stick to Corner Gas. And then they did the interview, and Sean asked Bret like a ton of wrestling questions, and Bret was more than happy to talk about wrestling. And like, there was no pushback about that. So there's your Corner Gas reference. Great show, though. Go watch the original. The animated series is whatever. The original Corner Gas was fun. Brent Butt. That was the name of the guy who created it, the comedian.
I've never seen an episode or a second of it.
It's fun. You should go watch it. After this show, you're going to go, instead of watching the rest of the WrestleMania 9 documentary, you're going to watch Corner Gas.
That's not true.
You could. I can send you the link.
No, I don't want to watch this show.
Anyway, so Joe Hendry is now serious.
Oh, gosh. Let's go back to talking about Canadian delicacies over TNA, please.
Canadian delicacies.
I don't know. You're ranking Nardwuar as the second most important person in Canada history behind Bret Hart.
Yeah, because it's accurate. Who needs Celine Dion? She can live in America now. She lives in Vegas. She's fine. Dear Celine Dion, would you interview a Canadian wrestling fan in Las Vegas next week?
Would you interview? She's going to interview you?
I would like that very much. I am the third most important Canadian in content creation.
True. We should do that bit. It would go over terribly. Of like, we book these people for interviews, but they ask us questions instead of us asking them stuff.
Didn't we want to do that with someone recently? There was someone that was coming on our show, and we're like, what if we flip the script, they interview us? But it wasn't Janela, it was somebody else.
It was probably like Cole or something.
It may have been Cole. Someone in the chat's gonna remember it. Celine, do you believe in the power of love wrestling? I still can't get Spencer Love to tell me where the hell he's staying when he's in Vegas next week.
He doesn't want to be associated with you.
I understand it. Gave him my number and he just doesn't want to talk to me.
He's like, Canadians? Absolutely not.
Go watch a Nardwuar video. He's great. He's interviewed like Kendrick and Tyler the Creator, a bunch of them. And like Cardi.
Yeah, I saw he did an interview with Tyler the Creator. So I'm not gonna watch it, at least not while I'm on this show. But
no, don't do it now. But like afterwards, if you need a good laugh, because he's a different kind of interviewer. He's very musically like enabled. He's very he's a music interviewer, if you will. He gives his guests a lot of like records and other content related to music and talks to them about like the history of music and them. It's a really cool interview style. I do recommend it.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'll watch a Nardwuar interview. Is that his real name? Is that a government name?
I highly doubt that that's his real name.
Okay.
Does anyone know his real name?
I assume Wikipedia has it, right?
His name is John Andrew Vernon Ruskin. John Ruskin.
Oh, okay.
Who are you? Oh, you can literally just go to ASCAP and it's right there. His legitimate name, his government name for the world to see.
He just decided to be Nardwuar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it have his reasoning for it? No. He was in a garage rock band. That I knew.
Okay.
He's great. If you haven't watched, go watch Nardwuar.
I've never heard of him until today.
He gives fun gifts. Mod Revolve gets it. He does. All stuff that's related to like the history of these people that he's interviewing. He's great.
Okay.
Apparently he had a stroke in 2015. Holy shit.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. That's wild. Oh, and he had seizures in like 1999. So, all right, cool. He quickly recovered.
Cool.
He quickly recovered. That's the cool part.
He had a stroke and seizures. All right, cool. Anyway, let's talk about TNA wrestling.
Yeah, so Joe Hendry comes out and he's all like, yeah, I'm hurt, but I'm not dead. So he's going to have a match at all the shows. He's going to be an Unbreakable in a tag match. He's going to be in a triple threat. Could you imagine Ethan Page wins the TNA title and then he wins the North American title? It's happening, baby. The Ethan Page effect.
Are we done with TNA talk?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Louis put Julius Seizure. I used to, when people would sneeze, call them Julius Sneezer in class. That was the humor of my middle school days.
It's awful.
We got a regular Julius Sneeze over here. That's how we would talk.
Was your high school full of dads?
Julius Sneezer Jones over here.
Julius Sneezer Jones. That's awful. Oh man, Jason asking about the Ethan Page departure from TNA. Well, the good news is, yes, he departed TNA, but then he came back because everybody who wronged him.
Yes, everybody else departed TNA since then too, so it doesn't matter.
Eventually, they're going to get to that Worlds Collide event, and I think it's going to be around.
I don't think they're going to do it.
I think they're going to do something around War Games weekend.
Okay.
Louis said, "I called my type 1 diabetic friend Julius Caesar." That's awful. Do your friends like you? I'm starting to think they might not.
I like Louis. That's all that matters.
Jeremy's AWPR contract prevents him from talking about TNA. Yeah, that's true. I know you're a big AWPR guy.
I didn't watch the show. I don't have anything to add because I didn't actually watch the show.
That's fine. You didn't miss much. Honestly, last week was the week to talk about TNA. This week was like a bunch of things happened, and none of the knockouts were on the show. Ali and Santana continues to be the best show, or the best presentation. They're doing another match at Rebellion. Again, they gotta do those two at Slammiversary for the title. Just has to happen. Joe needs to drop that title and just move on. Him and Elijah should have a match. Hello, I am Elijah, and I play
exactly no pop.
That's what happened at Sacrifice. Just that. Big pops for Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton, though.
Hell yeah, finally. Something good to talk about.
A lot of news has come out over the last little while. Fightful Select had reported that... I got to pull this up now. Fightful Select had reported that the War of Words went off track, but everything else appears to be going according to plan. So it looks like creatively, the direction remains the same, despite the fact that the two went at each other off script on SmackDown. It hasn't adjusted WWE's plan. A number of readers have asked if the verbal joust has changed any outcomes within the match, and when Fightful inquired, they were not told who was going to win, but that, quote, the creative direction hasn't changed in that regard. There's not heavy concern that things will get out of hand in the ring once they face each other, which is expected to be a match night 1 of WrestleMania, and talent are typically told the winners and losers on the day of the show and not before then. There's also been some more stuff coming out of Dave's camp. Do you want to get to that? Or do you want to comment on the Select report first?
If you have the stuff from Dave, go ahead and talk about it.
Quote, one person with the company said, quote, Charlotte has been trying to rattle Tiffany. Standard stuff. Cena does it. Randy does it. Young talent coming up. You put a little heat on them as a test to get them to either sink or swim. Quote, well, Charlotte has effed this whole program by not adjusting. The idea is she was supposed to be the face at first when she returned, but it backfired because she leaned into being a heel as soon as she started getting booed. Last Friday, she got sucked, but I think it was stuck. That Chicago
last Friday she got sucked. Jesus,
I think it was just sick. It's stuck. The Chicago crowd ate her up because they can see she's doing more than business. She's trying to embarrass Tiffany. That's from Wrestling Observer newsletter this morning. I have my feelings that they knew she was coming in as the heel, but for some reason they wanted to babyface her on the way in with the "you don't know what I dealt with." But then they immediately went back to being heel Charlotte. That part was a little confusing to me from the Observer side of things. I do agree with the Charlotte has fucked this whole program by not adjusting part, though. That quote I can definitely get behind. But also Tiffany was on a podcast. Which podcast was it? Do you remember? Was it the Babyface podcast?
Babyface's podcast. Yeah, shout out to them. They're pals.
And do you have the quote handy? Because I don't. I know that she talked about the promo and gave a pretty, to me, what felt like a standard fair answer, but probably the best way that she could have explained it. That she went out and said what she wanted to say because she wants to keep her title in rattle cages. So I'll let you pull it up so you can get it right.
She said, being so new into this business and being so new as champion, I don't think she really expected me to stand up to her. And I don't think she expected me to almost clap back. All I have to say is it's live TV. Stakes are high. We're going into WrestleMania. I have the title. I want to keep the title. I'm going to pull out every stop that I can. And people want to see our match. I think we did a very good job of getting people wanting to see our match and invested in our story. This is my favorite line. Now I'm ready to put on the best women's match ever and ready to go to war. It's an amazing line because she's like, yeah, we're about to... This is going to be a battle. This is going to be an absolute battle out here. What a great line to say. She's ready to go to war. She knows what she did with this line, with the promo last week. And she knows she's about to have to battle Charlotte in more ways than one. Bless.
Charlotte Flair tweeted out later that day at 6:00. After being blindsided by my personal trauma on live television, my character said something on air that was not true, and I'd like to take this opportunity to clear the air. I should have never called the Chicago fans smart. I sincerely apologize.
She tried to play it off.
And you know what? I give her credit for that. It was the replies in there were so disgusting.
She did. I did. She replied to one person who was being an asshole. Yeah.
She replied like cute. I'm not going to say what the person replied to, what he replied with, but it was cute. Now, would you like me to tell you what I think of you and your face? So a pretty good start. I mean, I like Charlotte. I don't think she's perfect as a performer. I don't think she's perfect as a politician. I think she brings the best out of a lot of people.
Great as a politician. Are you kidding me?
That's fair.
When do people get over on Charlotte?
That's true. People don't get over on Charlotte. She gets one over on them.
Yeah.
But one thing I give Charlotte credit for is she is very good at standing up for herself. And she's very good at knowing what her character is and who her character is supposed to be presented as. I don't think anyone deserves personal shots hurled their way. But I also know that this particular match has the potential to be really passionate, and whoever is agenting it, I assume Tyson Kidd. We'll find out.
Good luck.
Good luck to them.
Good luck, TJ.
Yes. Manny's asking, do they have them interact again before Mania? Absolutely, they do. Because at the end of the day, these are two women who have to do something going into their match. And they are the number 2 story on SmackDown side of things for the women's championship. The Royal Rumble winner is still part of the story, and they need to be a part of it. And I don't think they're going to do just a random video package to tell the rest of the story. 2 weeks left. They gotta do something, and I'm sure they will.
I would advertise the shit out of them coming face to face, like they're doing with McIntyre and Priest. McIntyre and Priest face, okay, sure. I'm sure it'll be a good promo, but like they ain't gonna say anything too out there that we don't know. After last Friday, I'd be like, yeah, Charlotte and Tiffany under the same roof. They're gonna be face to face. They're gonna confront each other. Like, hell yeah, that's must see television. To me, the fact that they're not advertised for SmackDown right now, a little like, are we going to do this or not? There's only one SmackDown left after tonight. I'd be advertising the hell out of them doing one more confrontation.
Yeah, no match. Just like no match for either of them. Just do a confrontation. Also from Wrestling Observer newsletter on the topic, one person internally in WWE said that even Tiffany Stratton's 0-3 line was scripted, but others who would know indicated the marriage line was not. Charlotte Flair making reference of Ludwig Kaiser in her DMs was not planned. And also, while there were reports of how Flair and Stratton went off script early, virtually the entire promo went as scripted. Again, this is coming from Wrestling Observer newsletter. Hearing from numerous people in the company, and some stories are contradictory, but the consistent story is that there was heat on both of them when it was over, but more on Flair. Don't know about the everything was scripted because they very quickly went off the script. So how do you do both at the same time? It feels like they started and then they very quickly veered off. And the heat on both women is factual. They are both, not looking great in the eyes of management because of what they said. It was just very, the Observer newsletter story was very strange. That's why we typically pull from Select, because we know what's going on here. Not that Dave doesn't. It's just we've kept to the script here.
I think there are multiple sides. I think there are.
Off script. Sorry, that's what I wanted to get out there.
I think there might be some people who claim that, oh yeah, the marriage line was like, which marriage line? The line where she was talking about you were on talk show talking about your marriages. Like, was that part of it? Like, I'm sure somebody said, yeah, that might have been part of it. But then the majority is that 0-3 line was not supposed to be there, and Charlotte's line was not supposed to be there. Yeah, they edited that stuff off of the footage. They deleted the tweet that had it. Like, they tried to erase that one because I don't think that was part of the plan.
Yeah, I think it very quickly went off a cliff, and they couldn't salvage it beyond what it was just like, we got to keep going. We got to keep piling on. Yeah, Zeno, I was saying I don't buy the 0-3 line was scripted, especially because it was edited out. So it's a good point. It is. Anyway, I do think that they're going to be in the ring again together at one point. I don't know if they want to do another promo. Maybe this was the top. Maybe this was the Tiffy top.
No, they have to do another promo. I don't care if they want to or not.
But here's the
British
problem.
Bulldog is going to win whether he wants to or not. Tiffany and Charlotte are going to do another promo whether they want to or not.
My point being in all this is you can't. What you've told these women, don't do that again, which for the most part, 99% of people, that means they're not going to do what they did again. In other words, they're not going to veer that badly off script. Could they script something that's going to be, fire and it's going to be great and they'll play to it and it'll be, great television, compelling? Could be. They could do that. Both women have to be comfortable with that, and that takes the giving and take process. I think. No, I'm not going to say it, but I would put them back in the ring to talk. No, I wasn't going to say anything. I was just like, do I want to put this out there because I don't know personally if this is the case. I think these two women, I'll say it, are a little closer in. I think they have much more in common than they're willing to admit to each other when it comes to their competitiveness and what they're willing to do to win. Taking shots at each other was kind of a low point, but also a high point for the entertainment factor. Now they have to figure out how to take this home and make it less about the shitty things we said last week and more about the title shot and the match that we're going to actually have to build to. That's the tough part. What happened last week should have been the go home promo because it was the hottest. You don't know if this week, tonight, if they do it, they could make it as hot as they did last week because it was completely off script and very awkward and everyone's been talking about it.
Well, they can't make it as hot as they did last week unless they just keep shooting and they start talking about. And Tiffany's like, how many women have you held down in this company? Oh, you accidentally dropped the title to Becky Lynch. Oh, you got Nia so mad she was punching you in a real match. What happened with Ronda Rousey? I don't even know if anything happened with Ronda Rousey. Just throw it out there.
I think they just like each other, so maybe not. Ronda loves me. Like, yes, she does.
They just start talking about how Charlotte's always got to be at the top and everybody else has to fall because of that. I know you don't want to say he who shall not be named, but there's a reference point there that can be made of Charlotte being a favorite that has been mentioned in the past, notably Punk and McIntyre and Cena and Cody. So it's not like it is some taboo thing to reference Vince and his favorites. I think that's a way you can keep some heat on this. But you're not gonna top what you did last week because last week was so chaotic, and now we kind of know, unless they go out there and just go off again, which bless if they do. Like, now we know it's like, okay, they're supposed to be saying this, which doesn't lessen some of the impact depending on what they say, but it does feel like it can be sort of like the Charlotte and Nia fight. They did it the first week and it was legit. And they ran back the match the next week, and like you could tell they were like play fighting to recapture. And it's like, oh yeah, this is kind of lame after what we saw last week. It would be sort of similar to that. Promos will have a little bit more juice than them trying to play fight, but I'd still put them out there and make them prove that they can work together in that setting, because they're gonna have to work together at Mania, and you gotta get them on the same page somehow. The thing that stood out to me, besides a lot of what Dave wrote, it is something we know. I'm pretty sure, like we saw it play out on television. They really thought Charlotte was coming back as a babyface, and the way they booked her, they really thought this was all a babyface move. And then, yeah, the crowd turned on her immediately, and she didn't react to it well in that first promo. And then they flipped and they made her a heel, and then she didn't react to it well. Like, but man, they really thought there was some babyface run with Charlotte, and I do think there could have been. I do. They screwed it up immediately. Immediately screwed it up with how they booked her.
Yeah, they had all of these vignettes where she is flashing her money and it's opulence and it's like all this stuff, but instead they brought her back the way they did, which made zero sense.
Yeah, the return promos should have been, I said this months ago, it should have been what she posted on social media, where she's going through the rehab process and trying to rebuild herself. And then she enters the Rumble at, I don't know, maybe 2021-ish to show a little bit of comeback there and fight from underneath. But instead it was all, look how rich I am, look how great I am, listen to all of my accolades. Oh, I'm entering at 27, a favorable spot for past winners. And then I won. It's like, well, you didn't have to really earn anything. You're Charlotte Flair again. And the crowd responded in kind of like, yeah, we still don't really like you, because look at the vignettes that aired. Look what happened at the Rumble. Where are they at tonight? They're not
Seattle. They're Seattle at Climate Pledge.
Seattle. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how hot Seattle is overall.
Well, bring out Bryan Danielson.
Sure. But see, I think Seattle can be a hot city. We'll see. I feel like it's going to be hot just because we're 1 week away from Mania, and so crowds are just overall hot right now. My point was going to be, crowds know now that they can kind of rattle her after last week. And you're not going to get crowds as hot as Chicago was, or the overseas crowds and everything. Like, not every crowd's going to be that hot. But there are going to be some crowds that are very hot, and they might try to rattle her. And it'll be interesting to see how she reacts to it.
I think she knows to just stay the course.
Does she?
We'll see. The John Cena merch for Vegas has dropped. Jeremy, have you seen it yet?
I saw the Cody merch. That ruled.
That does rule. This is the Jericho, the John Cena merch.
Oh.
Very Vegas inspired.
Yeah.
The last time is now towel. The hat, the socks, the shirt, the headbands, the title belts. I feel like that title belt was already in existence, but
they're doing the same merch they were going to do whether it was a baby face or a heel. Like,
oh yeah, no, we know that because he even told us. He was like, I'm not changing anything for you people, and he's going to sell it and it's going to do great, but it's here, and people should see that it's very Vegas inspired. And you got the card behind him and on the t-shirt. It looks nice. Like, I don't hate it. I personally wouldn't be wearing it, but it's there. If you want it, go buy it.
They're going to sell a shit ton of them. So
Cody Rhodes shirt, though, that is where it's at.
Cody shirts are amazing. They went back to it's a shame they didn't fully go the make them say shirt, but it's still really good. It's about as good as you're going to do with a WWE style shirt like that.
True. That's true.
Pharaoh, pimpin' ass Pharaoh out there. Oh man.
Here's the Cody Rhodes Vegas shirt. The Vegas Nightmare. Look at that. He's got the glasses on, and Pharaoh's wearing the mask. Pharaoh's got the glasses on the other side. It's amazing.
That bottom shirt, the Vegas Nightmare shirt. is fantastic.
Yep.
Pharaoh out here, he's got bottom bitches. I guarantee you.
He does. He does. You know what I am saying? He does. Oh man. You know what? If y'all donate enough super chats, I will buy it. I will buy it. No
Which one? You got to buy the Cody. You know Jensen's going to ask you to get like the Cody shirt. You should probably get it on.
How will I get it to him? International. It's going to be international postage.
Ship it from Vegas.
I could do that. If he wants it, y'all got to pay for it.
He can get it on WWE Shop anyway. It's not like he needs that shirt. It's on WWE Shop, so it's not like it's a Vegas exclusive, right?
I don't know if it's a Vegas exclusive.
Nah, they're trying to sell this shit before people get to
No,
Vegas.
you're right. It says available at WWE Shop and the Superstore. Yeah, so it's going to be there. He's going to be in the bus. Could you imagine? It's like, I paid $200,000 to do the Cody bus trip. There was a $200,000 Cody bus trip. For me, there was. Everyone else has to pay $10,000 just to see it. I got to ride in it.
Throwing back Wheatley in the bus.
It says he likes to drink it neatly. He's got that new sponsorship with Wheatley, so clearly we're going to be okay. That's
a sensitive subject, SP3.
Well, I mean, it's true though. The merchandise sale is not very high. He failed. It's the way it is. It's going to get a shady Vegas bus. It's going to be really it's just going to be shoddy and raggedy. It's going to be awful.
A van. That's not a bus.
It's a van. You can sign your name at the top of the van. Oh man, SP3, I hope you have a lot of bad days because I want you to be thinking about me all the time.
Wow. I hope you have a good day, SP3.
I want him constantly thinking of me. You should be always thinking about me.
Nice.
Oh no, Brian Lambert pointing out the obvious. He's not wrong. It's true. Oh God. Randy. What are we gonna do with Randy Orton? Kevin Owens allegedly had neck surgery as early as April 7th, again, according to the Observer.
Why is that? I mean, maybe, but Kevin said that himself. And I don't think he was going to have surgery on 7th. Maybe he did have it on 7th, but Kevin said himself he was meeting with people on the 7th and was going to potentially have, I'd have to go back and listen to the interview. I hate when Dave does that. He just attributes things that people have said in public interviews and is like, this is what happened. Like, yeah, they said it publicly.
Did you know Darby Allin's climbing Everest on April 15th, according to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter?
Did you know Sean Waltman is working with the WWID talent, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter? So stupid.
By the way, for the first one, that was for Darby. That was an interview with Denise that he gave that information to. Same thing with Sean. Sean was talking on a podcast and he mentioned that he's working with.
There's no contest wrestling. I'll make sure to cite my source, unlike some people.
Thank you. I was going to ask you who got that information from Sean. Good. There you go. That's the important stuff. So anyway, KO is out of WrestleMania. We talked about that. He's had a couple of interviews there since then. The Robbie Barstool one was good. Sorry, Robbie Fox, not Barstool. Robbie Fox interview was a good one, and he did another one with Chris Van Vliet recently that just dropped. Check those out. The big story going around from that was the airport. Leave wrestlers alone at the airport, which I wholeheartedly stand behind.
I agree with that, but there was a much funnier story that didn't get as much attention because I don't know why. But Kevin, you saw like he signs these cards. All the wrestlers sign like the cards, and Kevin would write on the cards like, I like certain Shakira songs, and like the bloodline is not like a real family, like stuff like that. He would write like funny quips on them. And he revealed on one of the cards, he wrote, "Don't follow us at the airport." That he already revealed that he doesn't want to be followed at the airport. And he wrote it on a funny card. But Chris Van Vliet gets all the credit.
Yeah, of course he does. Because it's clearly Chris Van Vliet's story. Not KO's.
I like Van Vliet. I just thought like, hey, he said this as much in a much funnier way that he wrote it on one of these cards. Because then he's like, the funny thing is the person who pulls this card, they're most likely to be the ones following us at the airport because they're these big time collectors who get all this and they want all the shit signed just to sell it.
I'm going to see Chris Van Vliet at Circa because that's where I'm going to be staying for WrestleMania week. Chris Van Vliet's going to be there. He's going to be doing a couple shows there, and also the Busted Open crew are going to be there, and I'm going to beat up all.
Do you think Van Vliet will help you against them?
I think so. I think if I ask nicely. The thing about Chris Van Vliet is that while he is a pacifist, I'm going to put the thing up in a second. While he is not pacifist, while he doesn't like to fight without needing a reason to fight, I think if I can convince him to help a fellow Canadian, he will help me. There are no Canadians on the Busted Open panel. I'm thinking about it. No one's Canadian on their daily, right? Thunder Rosa, Tom Pestic, Bully, Tommy Dreamer, Mark Henry. No Canadians. David's Canadian, or American, I should say. Who's
Nemeth?
Nemeth is American. He's from Ohio.
That's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate. Worst state of the union. Anyway, so I'll be at Circa. That's my hotel of choice. Looking forward to that. The Busted Open crew will be there. Chris Van Vliet will be there. I'm going to give Chris a big hug, and I'm going to punch the rest of the Busted Open crew in the face. I'm going to get a hot tub, a cabana next to wherever they're airing their shows. If they're doing a show inside, I'm going to get a cabana and I'm going to request that they bring it into the where they're doing their show. And I'm just going to heckle them in my green bathrobe from there. And it's going to be a thing. But if you want to come out, Circa Mania, tons of stuff going on. The Wrestling Wind Down ladies are going to be doing something at Circa. And I'm looking forward to hanging out with Lo and Iridian because they're really fantastic women. So I'll be there. You'll be there. Check out Circa Mania. And also you can watch WrestleMania at the poolside because they're going to have some giant screens showing WrestleMania. So you can go and enjoy. And I'll be there. Once again, I'll be there. That is the point. Right?
Punch Joel. Everyone just beat up Joel.
I feel like that will get you removed from the precedence. From the... Why did I say precedence? That will get you removed from the premises.
There you go. I don't know. Debatable.
Thunder Rosa is not Canadian, despite being from the graveyards of Tijuana, Mexico, Alberta. You want to do this because the money is in?
No, because we do not conform to what people say around here. We drop the vanilla baby when it makes sense, not when we are told to. We're not dancing puppets on a string here, Louis.
I'm pretty sure we are.
You might be. I'm not. I'm not going to be part of your system.
You're going to throw it on the ground, aren't you?
Right.
Well, anyway, who's Randy Orton going to face at WrestleMania? That was really the point of the KO conversation. Randy Orton is without a WrestleMania opponent. You need somebody. Who could it be?
You know who should face him?
Who?
I know everybody's like looking at Nick Aldis because Nick Aldis got the RKO. Karrion Kross has thrown his name out there. Sheamus has thrown his name out there. They've been talking about, what if it's Rusev or Aleister Black? What if I did like an Aleister Black voice? What if it's that's your Aleister Black voice?
Aleister Black, you've got to make it sound like he's upset with the world, but also just a little bit constipated.
You know who it should legitimately be, though? The arena goes down because it's a stadium, so you can put the lights down. It's its own stadium. It goes down, and then all of a sudden, you just hear,
I'm vanilla, baby.
And the GOAT, Blake Christian, comes out because Triple H actually paid for the friggin' rights to Lovin' On Me, unlike that cheapskate Tony Khan, and Blake Christian comes in and defeats Randy Orton and then gets added to the main event of night 2, and he stacks John Cena and Cody Rhodes to win the undisputed WWE Championship.
Yeah, he'll come back as what was he? Alex Zane?
No, Alex Zane.
No.
Alex Zane is a real person. What?
You're right. What was he in NXT? Was he Trey Baxter?
Yeah.
He was Trey Baxter. There was 2 of them that had the same name. Alex Zane is legit. You're right.
Alex Zane is a completely different person.
And are they though? I feel like all of that group of 205 Live pandemic friends were all just one person. They just put them in different outfits and hope no one could tell the difference. What? You don't remember Daniel Garcia, who was known as Daniel? What was he known as? Daniel
He only had like
Ruiz
one
or something like
match.
that.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway, Triple H already fires Blake Christian. Good to see you. Here's your money. Bye-bye. Alex Zane versus Orton would slap. That's true. Oh my goodness. Actually, you know what? This is it.
Oh, that would actually rule.
She's got a pinfall victory on him. Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton is the match.
Okay, all right. You know what? It is Alexa Bliss, and she comes out of the box-like structure with the black goo still already like draining down from her.
Yep.
That is what should happen.
That's it. We got it. Someone's saying Halix. Do you mean Calix from Evolve?
I think it's Calix from Evolve. Yeah.
No, it's actually Kate and Alex. They've just been signed to a one-night deal.
I'm all for this Alexa Bliss idea, and Orton is just stunned. And then the maggots appear on the mat as well. And then let me rewind that so it sounds better on the short. And then the maggots appear on the mat, and Orton just falls over. Like the spirit of the fiend just enters him, and he just starts convulsing. And then Alexa Bliss floats onto him and stands on him for the victory.
The floating works because Cirque du Soleil is all over Vegas. So, Nick Khan has already got his Vegas activation hands all over this. You could do it. It's great. Nick Khan is now part of WWE Creative. What if we take what if we take some Vegas influence and instead of just putting it in the opening package, it's all over the show. Adele's going to come out and sing Randy Orton to the ring.
Dude, Adele would rule. Are you kidding me?
I'm not against it. These jokes are still made for doing.
Yeah, Adele's fucking fantastic. Hello from the other side. Can't do my
she
voice.
Sings the Wyatt Six out to the ring with that
song. Adele rules.
Oh, there we go. Ryan Adams sent a super chat saying, watching the Mania doc, and they did the last dance thing.
Okay.
I've been watching everyone talk about their.
They did. Oh shit! I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, and I think I saw someone post about that. So I gotta find it, man. I gotta find this documentary.
Yeah, I'm very excited to watch the end of this documentary. Peacock just posted a clip of something, but I gotta finish. No spoilers, Ryan. No spoilers.
By the way,
I don't know what happens in the main event. Who wins between Yoko and Brett?
Orton versus the Blue Man Group in a handicap match. He's just punting blue faces for a solid 5 minutes.
Ryan says it's about the 1 hour mark. Yeah, I'm like 47 minutes in, so I'm right there. So I'll finish the doc after this show.
Man, that's some fantastic stuff.
Blue Man Group against Randy Orton's pretty good, actually. I like that.
I would like that.
I like our Alexa Bliss idea. Shout out to, of course, Alexa Bliss Gamer.
Of course.
On brand. I respect your brand, Alexa Bliss Gamer.
Remember there was one episode where we had Alexa Bliss news, and I was like, there's only one person who would care, and they just popped up Pavlovian response.
Nah, Alexa Bliss Gamer is cool.
Shout out. Absolutely. No, I'm not. Believe me, I'm not making fun of this person because I love the fact that you just like Joe Hendry, you say their name, and boom. Oh God, good stuff. Anyway, yeah. So seriously though, with the Randy not having a Mania opponent, to me, so this is something that I saw Ibu post about, and I think he made a really good point. The idea of having a returning Rusev or a returning Aleister Black when this is all supposed to be Randy getting a WrestleMania victory. That would Randy was going to win the match against KO. Like that was always the story was the punt. You were going to get the punt, and maybe it was going to write off KO at the time because he said back in January he was feeling the effects of whatever was wrong with his neck. So maybe the plan for him was get through Mania, punt me, and show me how bad that move is, and take me out. Not the case. So now, if Randy's still going to win a match, who do you do that with? I feel like doing that with the two people who are returning is not a great sign for those two people. Whereas with Nick Aldis, you can get away with it. Nick Aldis coming back to the ring, wrestling for the first time in X amount of years. Like you can make it work, but I don't think it's not ideal. He should be having someone come out and be a proxy for him. I don't know who, but
I said it. I said this when last Friday when SP3 and I were talking about if Kevin's out of WrestleMania, who should it be? And we both mentioned Rusev or Malachi, and I said Orton's a babyface. Those guys upon return are gonna get a babyface pop just because they're back, and so that's gonna be the pop. So unless you're gonna immediately book them as a heel, you're looking at giving them a babyface pop, and you're probably looking at beating them because Orton should probably win this match. Now, if they decide to come back and they'll get the babyface pop, but then they work as a heel, and then maybe they do win as a heel. But I don't think it should be a babyface thing. It's not Cody returning. Let's throw that out there right now. This is not Cody at 38 returning. Seth was a very established heel. Cody was coming back as a much bigger star than Rusev or Alistair are coming back as. They're coming back and they are most likely mid-card guys. I don't think they're coming up as a, top guys here. So doing this match again against Orton, unless they're going to win and unless you're going to establish them as a top heel, doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it seems like Orton should win and probably go on to Backlash and face Cena in St. Louis, because that seems to be the setup there.
Yeah, and that's the other part of it is Backlash coming to St. Louis. You want to set up the possibility of a Randy Orton title shot, presumably against John Cena, but of course we never fully know. And there you go. Yeah, someone asked for a health update, and Kevin Owens replied, "I'm currently battling a cold. Oh, and my neck is bad." So good for him. I'm glad that he's clarified how he's feeling. Something to write about later. Kevin Owens health update. Battling a cold. Maybe Orton's opponent should be Maven. Maybe that's why Maven was pulled from the clusterfuck.
I mean, that would be something. That would be something.
Something bad. It's fine.
I don't love the Aldis idea. It would be cool for Nick to get that spot just as a WrestleMania moment. I think that would be cool. I don't love the Aldis idea simply because then he just goes back to being the GM. Like, again, Randy's the baby face here. Like, usually the fighting authority, the authority's the heel. Aldis isn't a heel. Like, Orton does the RKO because it's a pop. Aldis is a baby face, all things considered. He handles things very well. He doesn't try to hold anybody down. He doesn't abuse his power. He's just a very straightforward general manager. You're basically healing him against Orton, or I guess you're trying to babyface him against Orton, but that's not the play. I don't love the Aldis play outside of, it's a cool moment for Nick Aldis. Adam Pearce makes more sense because Adam Pearce is incompetent, so it looks like he can play a heel on there. Aldis is actually really good and really competent. I don't love it being Nick Aldis. I don't know if there's just there's enough there for him.
3 other names: Solo Sikoa, Andrade, Carmelo Hayes.
Solo Sikoa would get people very upset. But
Randy, again, I'm pulling heels for you. That's what I'm doing.
I know.
Solo Sikoa makes sense because people would, they'd be upset. You can heat up the angle quick and maybe even have Jacob Fatu.
You got to do it quick. There's only 2 weeks left.
Yeah. But the idea of being like, you get Jacob Fatu involved because maybe the idea is that Fatu and Randy Orton will eventually have to touch, and you use Solo Sikoa as a vessel to build that. That's one way to do it. Mello is Mello. You can have a very, very, very competitive match against Randy. Randy wants to give him something, and then at the end of the day he loses and Mello looks good. Andrade, he wants to be a major player, and this is his opportunity to prove that he can hang with a former 13-time champion. There's at least story with all 3 of those men. It's not going to be as good as KO because that was the build. Now you got to do something real quick to make it make sense. Nakamura is there. Ryan Lambert's mentioning, like, the problem with Nakamura is that he's more damaged than any of the 3 guys I just mentioned because they gave him the US title, and what happened? They didn't. He went to Japan with it, and then he came back and lost it. Like that was it. He just existed with the title around his waist. the only 3 guys that I just mentioned are like the ones that you can play with in this case. Because again, Randy is the babyface and he's moving towards wanting a title shot.
He should be added to Priest and McIntyre, and it should be a number 1 contenders match. That's the logical move in all of this, because anything else, you're trying to force a story that might not be there. And I don't really love any of these ideas. Solo, Mello is fine if you're actually going to do something with Mello afterwards. And I don't have any faith that they're going to do anything with him afterwards. It's more likely that Miz gets the spot than Mello, sadly. Because I think Mello is someone who can take that spot and do something good with it. But they're doing what they're doing with him. Nakamura, Waller, Theory. Everyone knows I'm high on Grayson Waller. They ain't done anything with these guys. You only got 2 weeks to really make this mean something. And it's going to come off, no matter what they do, as less than, because the stuff with KO was really hot. The stuff with KO had a lot to it. So nothing you do is going to reach that level, at least with McIntyre and Priest, and putting a number 1 contender stipulation on it. Okay, now you've got something to fight for. Now Priest can try to regain his spot at the top. Now McIntyre can be like, oh, I'm finally getting what I deserved, but you're still screwing me over by Randy Orton entering the picture. Orton has said he's coming after Cody beats Cena. That it puts an emphasis on that segment a couple of weeks ago when Randy interrupted Cody and then McIntyre interrupted both of them. It adds something to that too. That's what makes the most sense. Everything else is just gonna, there's something there, but I don't know if it's enough. You know, it should be, it should truly be, Joel.
No AJ jokes. Styles.
No jokes. I mean, that would be cool, but Lexis King.
With the chair or without the chair? The chair comes down from the top of the arena. Just lowers.
Bring in Lexis King for this spot. Fuck it.
What's Dwayne up to? Dwayne's gonna be in town.
Allegedly.
Dwayne and Randy. That's the match. Didn't say it would be a good match, but it would exist.
It'd be good. I just don't think.
A lot of talking. No. Redmond Survivor. We've already established. Shane McMahon is going to be in Boston next week.
Yeah, Shane's all elite. Sorry.
I now own All Elite Wrestling.
This doesn't make any sense, but do Sami Zayn. Why isn't Sami Zayn on this card?
I mean, that is a good point. You could add him to not Sammy, but Randy. Like, you can add him to the U.S. title match. Make that a triple threat. Again, that's so. This is the problem with adding Randy to a match, is that many people have already pushed back against too many multi-person matches on WrestleMania. There are 3, or there are 2. Women's. No, there's 3. Damn it. 3-way for the women's title,
yes.
The 3-way for the main event night 1, and then the 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
So there are 3 multi-person matches. There could be more depending on what's going on, but like adding him to do a triple threat for the U.S. Championship, that feels like spinning your wheels. I don't know. Sammy, again, yeah. The problem is Sammy should be on the card, but Sammy also is a babyface right now. If you bring him back and you turn him heel real fast, then you got to spend a whole lot of time making Sammy a dominant heel. And I like the idea of keeping him that way until KO comes back. KO comes back as a babyface, and you finally give those 2 a moment at WrestleMania next year, assuming KO is on the mend and, back within the year. Do that as like a big spot. But again, you can't long-term plan for this because Kevin doesn't know how long his recovery period could be. Could be 6 to 8 months. It could be a year. It could be plus that. Nothing is known until he's cleared.
I'm not even saying you got to turn Sammy heel in this. The build could be as simple as apologize for understanding what's wrong with making Orton the heel. We're kind of assuming they're doing Orton and Cena at Backlash. There's nothing wrong with making Orton the heel, honestly. There's not. But if you are going to do Orton and Cena at Backlash, it doesn't full. I mean, he's going to get cheered regardless in that sense. So maybe he's just a shades of gray guy in all of this.
Facing CM Punk.
But you can make the Sammy story hot quickly. One, because Sammy's so good and people are going to respond to Orton regardless. It can be something as simple, and you'd have to clear this with Kevin, most likely. It's not like a personal shot or anything, but it could be as something of just like Sammy comes back, he talks to Orton, he's like, you had your opportunity to still take him out last week. He announced the surgery and you let him off the hook off of this. Would Kevin have done that with you? Did Kevin think about you and your neck and your surgeries when he pile drove you? And just calling Orton soft, calling him a bitch, and then Orton just RKOs him, and that's that. And then Sammy can, again, that's the whole story there. Or you could go in a completely different direction of Sammy has the respect for Kevin after all they've been through. And it's like, I'm going to step up and fight for my friend because he can't fight. So Randy, I will fight you. It could be something as simple as that. You don't got to put a ton of thought into it because it's Sami Zayn and Randy Orton, and they're both really good.
The one thing with Mello, going back to that, is he was the guy that KO pulled out of the ring as Randy was about to punt him. So Mello should be upset about that. Again, I understand the match is not as hot as what KO would have been, but at least you can go back to the story of, you were about to do something to me that you're not supposed to do. I'm upset by that. I'm going to take your spots. I'm going to be the guy. Mello likes to bite off more than he can chew. And this is just another person that he does that to. And maybe it does build him. But again, what do you do with him afterwards? That's the big question. You can put him on a trajectory like Seth Rollins was. I'm not saying he's going to be like Seth, but the point is, there was that WrestleMania 31 where you did Randy versus Seth Rollins, and they had, a really fantastic match. And then later on in the night, Seth wins the world title, cashes in Money in the Bank. What if Mello wins Money in the Bank in July? What if this is the start of, putting a little bit more on Mello, even with the defeats? I don't know. Maybe that's just me just talking, but at least with the Mello stuff to set this up, you can be upset about Randy trying to take him out. So this is him trying to get back at Randy.
Here's another off the wall idea that I don't think is completely off the wall. Sami Zayn comes out and he just talks shop with Randy, and then the Good Brothers. No, I'm kidding. I thought
that was in May. Like, what do we have in May? Sami
Zayn comes out and he sympathizes with Randy Orton a little bit of like, I know you're looking to get your hands on Kevin Owens. It's unfortunate what happened. It's more unfortunate that you couldn't end it. Something like that. And then DIY comes out. Yes, I'm pitching DIY to confront Sammy and Randy to do a tag team match because God knows Triple H loves those two. And there's stuff there, the history of Orton and Ciampa with the leg slaps and all of that. And they went back and forth way back when. And they did the whole, I'm trying to RKO Randy Orton bit on social media that the television audience doesn't care about. But, for those who know will pop like, that they did the cool bit. And so now it's a match. Just spitballing ideas out there.
That's the one. I don't know who it is. Yeah, one Kevin with another. You put out Kevin Nash. Listen, you're at WrestleMania week. You've got WrestleCon coming up. You've got every wrestler under the sun is available. Other people are pitching for Minoru Suzuki. Again, he is your emergency break glass person. I don't know who else could fit.
I got a real suggestion.
RVD, right?
I got a real suggestion. No, not RVD. In similar vein, though. Honestly,
Sabu's real retirement match.
no. Still kind of in similar vein.
Sandman.
Kurt Angle. I don't know if Kurt can go.
I don't think he can.
Well,
No.
he didn't have to go that much with Randy Orton. Like, Randy ain't gonna do a ton of shit either. They're just gonna have a
standoff.
yeah, trade some headlocks and whatnot. It'll be fine. It'll be good. Kurt Angle is my other. Just let's throw names out there.
Ken Shamrock is a good one. Yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hall of Famer.
Oh, you know what? If they could pull Austin out for this shit, that'd be good.
Can Triple H do an I owe you one, pal?
So, what?
Can Triple H get away with I owe you one, pal?
What do you mean?
To Stone Cold to get him to do the show.
Oh,
very famously the I owe you one, pal. Who else is here? Mike Tyson. There you go.
Everyone's there. Butterbean should be
Sting.
Butterbean.
Should be Sting.
Could you imagine if it is Sting?
My real final match. Oh God, Josh Barnett. There you go. It's Bloodsport. Who else is here?
Gabe Kidd is just gonna come out there and start talking a bunch of shit. So Ryan, I thought about playing the Jericho drop when I played the Blake Christian drop as a funnier bit of it's just gonna be Chris Jericho.
Should be Danhausen. Detective Danhausen here to find out why Randy Orton can't get a good WrestleMania appointment. Should be Bully. Just bring out Bully.
Should not be Bully. That should not be what it is.
Cyclops saying Julia shows up to challenge Randy Orton on SmackDown. And then he shrugs. Why you? It's Booker T.
That would actually rule if Julia showed up and just gave him a shoot headbutt.
Let's go. Who else could it be? Oh, it's Elijah. He comes out.
No. Stop.
AJ Francis.
Stop.
Billy Gunn.
Okay, that would actually rule though.
No, it would not.
Yeah, it would.
There is money to be made, so Billy would love to be there for it. Who else is here? There are a lot of women coming to WrestleCon. Good for
What if it's Road Dogg? Road Dogg just comes out and just gets RKO'd, and everybody just cheers for how bad SmackDown is. Like, yeah, SmackDown sucks. Get Road Dogg.
Oh, that would rule. Randy takes on Swipe Right.
Dude, that would actually be super entertaining.
That would be. JBL, there it is. JBL is going to be there Thursday to Sunday. I can't see anyone else that's like really. Santino, no. There's no one here that I'm like, you got to do it with this person. Well, who knows? It's not going to be me. Jack Cartwheel's a great shout. Should be him. Wait, why is that cowardly?
You said it's not going to be you.
Oh yeah, that's not going to be me. It should be Miles Bourne. I know he's put his name in the hat. Father versus son.
There's not too much there outside of people pop at the comparisons online.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Who is this guy? He looks exactly like Randy." They'll be like, "It's Randy versus Miles Bourne." By the way, and I know you wrote the article on this, Gail Kim is going to be at the Crockett Cup for NWA. Just because people are wondering where does Gail Kim land next, she's going to be at the Crockett Cup. She's doing a signing there, so she's not announced as participating in the Crockett Cup event, but she will be signing autographs. $30 for an autograph photo, and you have to have a ticket to the Crockett Cup to see Gail and get in on the festivities. So there you go. Nice to see Gail pop up again. She'll be everywhere. She's everywhere. And no, Jordynne Grace is not poor. We just dropped something on Fightful Select that the pay cut rumor is not true. I'll read it. I mean, it just came out, but it's our service. It's on our channel, right? Can I do that? Do you think? Well, he's here, so say his name and he appears. I believe in Sean Ross Sapp. Clap.
You're gonna get.
And I bring exclusives with me. So
I know we were about to talk about it. So I'll let you.
Which part?
The Jordynne stuff. That would
Jordynne Grace is broke.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I just posted that on Fightful Select, and I came here to talk about it a little bit because it is a sort of an update on the story. It's just a little bonus I'm giving in. But that's not the only exclusive I have for you guys. Sperm was a huge hit this week. I think we can all agree that.
Yes.
I directed Sperm this week. I specifically asked our team, hey, listen, guys, I know it's crazy. We need a sperm graphic. Well, I am here to release our newest graphic for Jordynne Grace. I am so excited for the world to react to this. As you can see, she's very excited to not be poor.
Yes.
Yes, the long and short of this is it's disconnect from a lot of people. It's one, Dave didn't put a quote or anything, and did certainly leave some room to interpretation. I can't speak to what Scott said because I don't know where he said it because it wasn't cited. I don't know if it was in the column or the Hawani, like a Hawani interview or whatever. I've got a message that he's got a column or something. But the long and the short of it is she's making more from her WWE salary than she was TNA. But outside ventures, aka OnlyFans, she's a millionaire. So of course she's going to be making a little bit less, but she's still making a good salary. It's a main roster salary as well. But readers of In the Weeds learn all that just now. You can subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. Our boy, Joel Pearl, is going to be there next week, and I'm going to be sitting here anchored to my desk, bringing in like his interviews and doing some editing on them and some notes on FightfulSelect.com. It's going to be a good time.
Going to be very busy. Sorry, from the article, the aforementioned Scott D'Amore article. This is from the Uncrowned article, just to give you an idea. He says, quote, speaking of WrestleMania headliners, I know for a fact that NXT newcomer Jordynne Grace turned down more lucrative offers elsewhere because she wanted to bet on herself. Grace believes she can become a massive star in NXT, a bigger superstar in WWE, and go on to headline WrestleMania. I, for one, have learned to never doubt the juggernaut. And then he mentions the back with TNA. So that's from Scott D'Amore's column on Yahoo Sports on Uncrowned.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know if there were offers elsewhere because I don't think that she even had time to do that before WWE extended their interest. So the way that worked out, she actually had time left on her deal when WWE started to negotiate. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, tampering. Listen, TNA and WWE are in a partnership. This might be a condition of the partnership, but she had the ability to talk to them early, much like Speedball had the ability to talk to AEW once his dates were effectively filled. I can only speculate, but I would assume that once you've completed your dates or booked your last date or whatever that might be, you have the ability to do that. But yeah, it's they had her signed. They had her brought to the PC by the time she was a free agent. She was already on her way there. I'll tell you where I was on my way to Dad's Deli to get a Rushmore.
There it is.
Every time. So here's the funny thing. I go there so much that as soon as I get into my Bronco, it's like, oh, you're going to Lane Allen. That's where you're going. So here's the direction. More than the corner store or the Publix at this point.
Yes, the phone knows everywhere that you are going. And then when you are getting in the vehicle there. Sean, do you know who's Mello?
Left-handed.
Mello with jab step. Do you know who Randy Orton is facing at WrestleMania?
No, but I'm about to cook up another graphic soon. I'll do it while I'm sitting here on the show with you guys. But Bet Online actually just released some stuff for it as well. If you know who the last place person is, Jeremy, don't give it away because we have to cook up an article on that. But you know, I'm about to do the article right here while I'm on the air with you guys, and I'm going to debut that one too. So right now, Nick Aldis is the favorite for the Bet Online stuff, which surprised me a little bit, but they're probably trying to get some action on it, all that good stuff. I feel like Rusev doing it and crushing him would actually be a good story, personally.
What are the odds for Alexa Bliss being
Not high.
Should be higher. Should be
Yeah,
higher.
should be higher.
He does have a pinfall
Yeah.
victory on him.
Yeah.
Does she?
Yeah.
How do I not remember this?
Oh, you should remember because
During
people saw it and felt a way about
yeah,
it.
it was during the pandemic.
Okay, yeah, I've definitely tried to block that out of my brain. That's for
Randy
damn
Orton's
sure.
wife sure as shit hasn't.
Don't blame her. Don't
She
blame
did
her.
not
to be
like
honest
that
with you.
visual either.
Yeah.
I can't say that I blame her too much for that either.
We think they should call back to was it 38, 39 when
Yeah, let's not. I mean, Jeremy, you've seen the messages associated. I think Joel has too. The messages associated with what was it? Is that the Fiend one?
Yeah, it's a box-like structure.
the box like structure.
Yeah, I think you all have seen some of the messages associated with that and how there was never a plan. But listen, your boy has a plan for. Listen, I'm big on the graphics these days, and the unfortunate thing is they're all titled Sperm Template now. Sperm Template LMAO.
So did you make the sperm template one off of the interview that Kevin Owens gave?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't make it. I had somebody make it, but
Okay.
I can tell you who's last in the betting odds right now for Randy Orton. It's Ric Flair because he's too old. He's too old.
It is accurate. It's only the age thing that disqualifies him. That's true.
Yeah, indeed. But it's gonna be a big week.
I need off next week.
Sure you do. Who are you, Andrew Thompson? Running from the grind?
Running from the
Tried
grind.
to hire him for a 7th time recently. Go figure.
Yeah,
I miss that guy.
I miss him too. The GOAT.
How do you think Colin's doing these days? Do you think he's watched wrestling since he left?
I hope not. I hope he's smartly just not thought about wrestling at all.
Oh, man.
I hope he's just like, yeah, forget all that. I don't feel like dealing with any of it. Maybe he does. He can watch it with a much nicer eyes of like, oh, good. I don't have to write a story about this line in a promo and this match and this attack and everything. You can just sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah. Listen, being a wrestling writer can be fun, but it can also be very tedious.
I'm looking forward to next week. I prepare for weeks like next week.
Yeah.
So I'll be fine.
Yeah. Ooh, I see Kevin Owens has updated his stance on the airport thing, which I agree. Don't come to the airport. Don't go to the airport. I mean, I'm not talking about to get autographs. Just don't go.
Yeah, just don't go.
Just don't go. Make my experience easier.
I mean, I just read something this morning that's definitely making me feel don't go to the airport ready. So, yeah. It exists.
There you go.
Don't even bother. Drive everywhere.
No, I can't even do that because everything I've been told about crossing the border from land is worse than doing it in the air. So,
yeah, we'll smuggle you in.
okay.
Haven't you ever watched Super Troopers? It is kind of hard.
That's true. Oh my gosh.
Littering and
tiring. Anyway.
Well, Joel, I just want to say I'm very excited to not be in Las Vegas, but if I was in Las Vegas, I'd be at Circa Las Vegas, where they have Busted Open Radio. They have Chris Van Vliet. And most importantly, they have Joel Pearl of In the Weeds. Legitimately, when I toured Circa Las Vegas in January, which I hope all of you go there and stay, Denise and I did a tour, and a wrestler, a WWE wrestler of whom sent me the messages that I referred to earlier, said, I was there last week hanging out with some family. It's like, hope you enjoyed it. I go there all the time. So a bunch of WWE wrestlers will probably be scooting through there, all that good stuff. They have a bunch of watch parties. You can meet a lot of wrestlers. They have live shows. And again, as you see here, exclusive hotel offers. We want to thank them for being the official hotel partner of Fightful during WrestleMania week. And Aaron over at Circa was incredible to us in January. And I know he's a wrestling guy. Like, That's the cool thing, is that he knew what Circa was getting into for this week.
Joel, you feel like you just had now
My media packet has finally arrived.
Ooh, forward
Yes.
that to me.
I will. Once
I'm very interested in seeing this.
Yes.
Forward it to me as well. I don't have any interest, but I just want to.
Why is it so long? Oh, so many things. All right.
So I got signed up for a bunch of spam emails, but great news, guys. New 7-inch vinyls of Tina Turner and Bryan Adams are dropping on record store day, which it's great that, after Demolition, Bryan Adams was able to do so much.
Really crushed that role.
He really did. You know what? I always did love when Danhausen would call him Demolition Crunch, and I'm like, that's actually like a good Demolition name.
Yeah, it's a good finish name. Nothing else.
Can't confirm.
Hear me out.
All right.
Oh boy.
The Road Warriors. If you did a new 2 Road Warriors, wouldn't work. If you did 2 new Demolition, I think it would still work. Just not S&M gear.
I don't know. There aren't. Maybe
Passion Crash.
Passion Crash. How many like face paint gimmicks are there nowadays? Like there just aren't a ton of face paint gimmicks. You got to think about it. Like on WWE and AEW television, how many people have face paint?
Also,
yeah, Darby and
very sad that they already burned through a Repo Man gimmick, because that is a brilliant gimmick. It's a brilliant gimmick.
Repo Man ruled. Yeah.
I heard, I think I was reading the comments. It was like when Rena-Center shows up and people hiding in their house. And one of the comments was, man, they did me dirty. They showed up with balloons outside my door and made me think that I was getting a gift. It's amazing. Ooh, the welcome packet.
It's so big.
Might want to send the actual. Oh, there it is.
It's there. It's all there. I didn't. Yeah.
Joel's skimping out here.
No, he got it. He got it.
Indeed. Well, in that case, I'm going to dig through this. I will see you guys later. Jordynne Grace is not poor.
Not with that attitude.
Allegedly.
I'm going to have to dig through this too. It's so much stuff. Oh, man.
People mention face paint. Danhausen isn't on television. Sorry. We like Danhausen. We've pitched mini roles for Danhausen. He's not really on TV. Darby's not even on TV at this point. Darby's half painted. Thunder Rosa will count. We'll count her. WWE though, no real face paint gimmicks.
Right. Exactly.
They just don't do a ton of face paint gimmicks. Are you okay?
Yeah. No. My wife was trying to do things, and I had the thing that
she needed to chair.
No.
Why?
She needed something that I needed that I was giving to her.
Nah.
It was the Presto card.
Oh, okay.
The one that you stole from us.
Oh, all right, fair.
Suckhouse Better Than Wolverine was asking, can I bet on the Globetrotters on Bet Online?
Probably.
You might actually be able to. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's not just all about who wins and who loses. Sometimes it's about what's going to happen during the games and stuff.
Yeah. Now we're not counting Penta. We're not counting Penta. Jay Grells, like that's not a face paint gimmick. He's got a mask. I know he paints his jaw and everything, but that's not like a Sting or an Ultimate Warrior or the Road Warriors or Demolition. No. There you go. Yeah, not a ton of face paint gimmicks.
No, you can do Asuka. That counts.
Yeah, Asuka counts to. We'll count Asuka a little bit. I'm not fully giving it to Asuka because it's not like she just has like lines, right? She doesn't have like a distinctive. I mean, she does now more. Like she has more of a distinctive like face paint. So we'll count Asuka, but barely.
Did you count the Fiend?
Well, he's
not the Fiend. Sorry, the Demon, the Balor Demon.
No, he hasn't been the Demon in friggin' 10 years. Why are we counting him?
You're just talking about current day?
Yeah, like current day. Like who had like their gimmick, like face paint is part of their gimmick, and
Boogeyman.
they wear it every single match.
Boogeyman. Yeah, there aren't that many.
All right, Jeff Hardy. Okay.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy now. Yeah, that's true. They do a thing now.
Dustin Rhodes. All right. Well,
Dustin does half the face. Thunder Rosa we talked about. Yeah.
Yeah, or that's ROH and TNA. I just,
You want to be WWE.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not fully. Like that's fine if you're naming those people, but there just aren't a lot in WWE, and there's not a lot in AEW, like on weekly television. Thunder Rosa is kind of the only person who is currently active who does it. Like Darby's not active, but he does. Like he counts, but he's not like active on AEW television right now. There's just not a lot.
Would you count? I mean, the Usos back in the day, they used to do it. They don't anymore. So
they don't anymore. So it doesn't.
Yeah. It's kind of came and went. Vampiro used to.
ICP would be.
ICP.
I mean, Violent J still does stuff. I don't know what happened to Shaggy 2 Dope.
The most important wrestler to don the face paint, who still shows up once in a while, the Kiss Demon.
Man, he rules.
He does rule. Dale Torborg, very special man. He deserves it. Yeah, that's about it. Like in terms of like current talent, yeah, there aren't that many. There ain't that many.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that we've gone through all that,
Painmaker. There you go.
Painmaker. Just like putting on makeup.
Cody should come out as Stardust for WrestleMania.
I have this like feeling that you'll see him do a bit where he does a Stardust like for just one night, not wrestling wise, but like on a SmackDown, he'll do it.
There's only 2 SmackDowns left. Does he come out Stardust tonight?
He could do it. He could do it to throw off Cena in Vegas. Then I'll be kicking myself for not going to SmackDown.
I don't know if Cody would be Stardust, but what if they have a Stardust like doppelganger there? Like they have somebody to dress up as Stardust. It's just Cher Delaware, but they have somebody to dress as Stardust.
Could do it.
Yeah. Could maybe do that. There's just a bunch of Stardust surrounding the ring. That's the go home shot for WrestleMania 41 next week. It's Cena and Cody face to face, and then they bring out the Cena army, that he used for one of his entrances, and then they bring out the Stardust army, and that's all it is surrounding the ring, and they're just slamming the mat, getting people hyped for WrestleMania. Stardust and Cena doppelgangers out there as Cody and Cena stare longingly into each other's eyes. Tune into the pay-per-view only on Peacock.
Are they doing the Terminator slap? Dun, 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 dun.
No, it doesn't have the Terminator slap. I don't know what it is. It's just like slapping.
Yeah, it's like NXT Underground.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm done. Let's get out of here. Anything to plug before we go into the weekend? Oh, SmackDown is tonight. There actually are some things announced, so maybe I should pull that up instead. And Collision also has a live show, a live episode that should be pretty fun because the Owen Hart party thing.
Fuck, I gotta watch Collision.
I know, right? Isn't that the worst? You gotta watch wrestling.
I gotta watch SmackDown. I gotta watch New Japan tonight. Can these companies stop?
Right, there's Windy City Riot tonight too. The lineup for SmackDown: the Women's Tag Team Gauntlet for a chance at the Women's Tag Titles at WrestleMania. Casey Squared, Lyra Valkyria and Bayley, Shayna and Zoe, the BFAB and Michin, Piper and Alba, and Maxine Dupree and Natalya. So is it Natalya and Maxine Dupree, or is it Lyra and Bayley?
Lyra and Bayley, because you got to get them on this card somehow.
That's true. Although if Sammy's not there, Bayley could miss out. You can do that, right?
No, stop. It's less about Bayley missing, which I don't think Bayley should be missing, by the way. But you've got this Women's Intercontinental Championship. You should probably put her on the show. Same thing with Chelsea and the U.S. Women's title. You should probably get these titles on the show.
Yeah, well, this is how we're going to do something with it. Cody Rhodes returns to SmackDown. I'm sure he's going to be confronted by people who want to face him for the title he won't have after WrestleMania. Rey Fenix takes on Humberto Carrillo, who is now just Berto.
He's been just Berto for a while.
I just like calling him his full name and then
Garza has always been Angel.
The Humbertos Garza, because both of their names are some sort of Humberto and Garza. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre go face to face. That match is now official for WrestleMania, so you'll see a little bit of action there. And I think that's it for announcements for SmackDown, right? I think so.
Cody Rhodes is there.
I did mention that. I
Okay.
did. They're going to do their Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, and everyone's just going to be like, why are you singing? This isn't the UK. Go home. Adam Cole. Sorry, this is done.
I hope they chant for Bryan Danielson on this show.
I'm sure they will. AEW Collision is also on Saturday nights. The Owen Hart Foundation Cup tournaments begin for the men's. Konosuke Takeshita takes on Brody King.
That'd be a good match.
On the women's side of things, Harley Cameron takes on ROH Women's Champion Athena.
That'd be a good match.
Billy Starks has a rematch in the Owen Hart Cup tournament against Jamie Hayter.
I'm looking forward to that. I want to see how they book that one. You're high on the Billy Starks in this tournament. Yeah.
I'm on the Starks train, baby.
I think she might win this match. I think Statlander's beating her, though. I got Statlander winning this whole thing. So
we'll hear from FTR. They're going to tell us why they turned babyface at Dynasty.
Yeah, I hope that's what they say too. He's like, Adam Copeland was holding us down. You guys really enjoyed those promos where he talked about how old he was and he, going to the place now. You enjoyed all that stuff. Like, no, we had to take this guy out, put him out the pasture. Like, yeah, FTR.
And in our main event on AEW Collision, the 5-tool player returns to take on the man, the myth, the legend. No, it's not Jungle Boy. It is.
I'm Vanilla, baby.
Blake Christian.
It's going to be sad when Blake Christian loses. So
I'll have a brand new Vanilla Fumble graphic to make.
I don't care that he loses. I care a little bit. It upsets me greatly. Just get the fucking song, Tony Khan. Why is this so difficult?
Maybe he can't get in touch with them.
I've tried.
Maybe he's just having trouble.
Tony Khan's got a lot of money and a lot of connections. You're telling me he can't get in touch with Jack Harlow's people? He paid all that money for the Pointer Sisters for one time.
Well, there's only one Pointer Sister left, so it's pretty easy. You can track her down.
Can track down multiple people with Jack Harlow.
Fair.
He uses them every single week, Blake Christian. Comes out this generic ass music when all the people want to hear is the Vanilla Baby.
I agree.
I don't like no whips and chains, but you can't tie me down. You can whip your lovin' on me. Whip your lovin' on me.
I'm Vanilla, baby.
I choke you, but I ain't no killer, baby. 28 telling me I'm still a baby. Get love in Detroit like Skilla, baby. And the thing about your boy is I don't like no whips and chains, but you can't tie me down. But you can whip your lovin' on me. Whip your lovin' on me. Just get I'll sing it. I don't care.
Yeah, I think that's what he's afraid of. I think that's what Tony's afraid of, is that you would do that. Watch Jack Harlow's gonna have the theme to WWE Backlash. He's gonna do the Backlash theme.
Hold on, this is my magnus opus to get
your magnum opus, by the way.
Magnus opus.
Magnus Opus was a TNA champion.
Magnus opus. I said it correctly.
According to you.
Hello, Jack Harlow. I'm going after Jack Harlow again.
You should be like that guy who says, tweeting at so-and-so every day until I get so-and-so. Or such and such.
There's a lot of people do the like not tweeting. This is in basketball terms of a lot of people like not tweeting until Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scores 30 points. And it's like, well, okay, you're going to not tweet for like one day because he scores 30 every game. So a lot of people do that gimmick. I could probably get away with that. I don't like tweeting anyway. I get too many automated tweets is the problem.
Well, that's what you should do.
Zeno, it's out there. I can only do so much. can
I'm-
only do
I'm-
so much.
I'm working on a backdoor favor that might get us Blake Christian. So there is that. Sounds more devious than it really is. Jack Harlow on In the Weeds would be fantastic, though.
I mean,
Just
I would
us
love-
grilling him for 20 minutes about this song.
Yeah, wait, I only care to talk about this one song. I don't know any other Jack Harlow songs. Like, I've probably heard them just because they exist, but I cannot name you a single other Jack Harlow song.
That's all it. That's it. Oh God, did you send that tweet yet?
I'm about to. Hello, Jack Harlow.
All right.
Can you please hold on? How did I do this? Hello, Jack Harlow. If you watch this video and aren't moved, well, I'm sorry.
You think he's
How
seen it?
Seen the video? I don't know. How can we make this the theme song for Blake on AEW television TV? AEW Dynamite airs every Wednesday on TBS and Max. AEW Collision airs every Saturday on TNT and Max. The fans would love this. Thank you. There we go.
Did you tag Max?
Oh, I should have. No, I can't. Like, I just tagged Jack Harlow, but I quote tweeted Blake Christians. I should tag Tony Khan as well. Cause
You should do just a reply and go CC Tony Khan, CC at Tony Khan, CC at
okay,
everyone. Yeah.
okay. You see Tony Khan at Max. Is it Max? I can tag like Max Sports, I guess.
There's also AEW on Max. I think is a.
Is there?
I think there's an AEW on Max.
All right,
Oh
tag-
no, it exists, but it's locked. That's another story.
what's is it Max
AEW on
Sports?
TV. Oh yeah, there's Max Sports.
Is
Max?
that what it is?
No.
Sports on Max?
Sports on Max.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Do they show much AEW stuff? Oh yeah, they do. They retweet stuff.
TNT? Should I just tag TNT?
You should. TNT Drama is the handle.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This TBS, are they active? Or they don't give a fuck?
I don't think they care. TNT, they'll do stuff. AEW on TV, that's one.
Okay, AEW on TV. All right. So I've got Tony Khan, AEW, Sports on Max, TNT Drama, AEW on TV, and we'll do TBS Network. Fuck it. Dynamite's on TBS Network.
Can you also tag RJ City in this just because?
Yeah, sure. TBS. Okay, TBS Network and at RJ City. Sure.
I feel like if anyone's going to be online enough to see it.
Yeah, RJ's going to get pissed. He's going to send me a DM. He's gonna be like, what am I tagged on this for?
That's the point.
I'm going to be like, I don't know. You can't get a graphic and I can't get Blake Christian this theme. I feel like we're trying to work towards our goals here, RJ.
Tag the Jaguars.
Okay, tag the Jags. Okay, we'll tag the Jags as well. All right. Anybody else who I should CC on this tweet?
I have no idea. This is compelling viewing.
I'll tag Dairy Queen. We'll tag
Dairy Queen.
Who Kevin Owens does that when Kevin Owens was doing the car promos and he would just like randomly tag like Shakira and shit. That ruled. All right, that's what we're doing. All right. We've successfully tagged. All right. We've CC'd everybody we're gonna CC on this thing. There we go.
Perfect. I'm glad we have this out there.
Stupid bit. We're gonna get Blake Christian on this show, or we're gonna get this song for Blake Christian. One way or another.
We're gonna do both. It's gonna happen.
Oh, what is Jack Harlow's record label?
What is Harlow's record label?
I think he's like, I don't know if he's UMG or not.
2018, he was with Generation Now, which is DJ Drama's label. He's from Louisville. See, now we got to ask Sean if he's got connections. Atlantic. He's under the Atlantic banner.
He's under Atlantic. Does Atlantic have Twitter?
Yes, I think they do. Can we not do this? I'm done with this.
The Atlantic.
Is it the? No, it's not the
Yeah,
Atlantic.
I know it's not the Atlantic. Yeah,
Probably Atlantic Records.
that's fine. All right. Yeah. Oh, there's Atlantic Records. So they promote the Jack Harlow here.
I have no idea.
All right. That's fine. I'll edit the
1.2 million. Ridiculous.
who has 1.2 million?
Jack Harlow has 1.2
Oh, yeah.
million followers. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, I
ridiculous.
believe that.
Never gonna see him. Anyway, let's get out of here. Anything to plug before we go?
I don't like no whips and chains. No.
All right. Go enjoy wrestling this weekend or don't. Go outside. Don't. What's
Do
that?
something better with your life than watch wrestling.
That's true. Jeremy and I are back on Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern to catch you up on what you missed in case you were smart enough not to watch the wrestling or just to banter with you because you did and now you want to talk about it.
Oh, next week, everybody.
Strap in, baby.
Be prepared.
Yep, my flight leaves Tuesday evening. Looking forward to that. Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, you know who Jeremy is. You know who I am. Leave a thumbs up on the way out. We'll see you in the next one. Enjoy your weekend. Cheers.